Welcome, welcome. Okay, let me get set up for you. Give me a second here. I was doing something before this started, so all right, there we go. And let me see if I could get this to work right. And then if I do, all right, there we go. Crap. All right. 1 second. Salute to you, left third. Salute. Let's see. CK the God, Washed Gamer. Salute to you all. Deacon Dave. Deacon Dave, I got something for you. Just give me a second. All right. Here's your friend. All right. There we go. And all right, so this is a rough draft, what you see on your screen. Basically, improvements are to come, but what you're seeing on your screen is a prototype, so to speak, of a program that I'm working on. This is just a thank you to all of my members. So if you look closely, what you'll see and it'll start to form is people's names who are members of my show. Let me see if I can find Deacon Dave in here. Hold on. Let's see. DAE. Nope. So basically, the circles are programmed to follow each other in the order of their name and how it's spelled out. So it should, when it's completely formed, spell out the name. Let's see. DAE. I already looked at that. Okay, I think I've seen it. Hold on. I think I've seen it going down here, meaning that it's going to come out here. DAVE. Yeah, that's you. Okay. So yeah, here we go. So Deacon Dave is like right around here. So there you go. And the larger ones just mean that you're in a higher tier and a higher level. So yeah, that's how that works. All right. So Seth, you're in here too. Oh, by the way, if you're a channel member and you don't see your name here somewhere, then just send me a message and I will take care of that for you. But Seth, you are right here, I think. All right. So right here we got number 16. He is the largest contributor so far. So when his thing comes, it pushes the smaller ones out the way. So it kind of messes with the order of other people, as you can see. So yeah, that's how that works. So I'll just leave that up for y'all. And yeah, I did this couple days. Took maybe like a few hours to do. All right. All right. So Deacon Dave says, let's see. You don't mind if I trick a little bit on your channel. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Hey, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that as long as it's on the channel. But yeah, this whole tricking thing is a can of worms. But, you know, pretend players got to play. So I get it. I get it. All right. So Seth, you said, all right. You said, cool. That means you've seen your name there too. Michael, see if you see your name in the, I think I put yours in there. Let me see. Michael Ross. Yeah, here we go. Michael Ross. So you're a larger one. I think this is a night level. So yeah, this is you right here, the blue and purple, just like powering your way through. So yeah, there you go. Salute to you. So the colors are random. Every time I do it, something else is going to come. All right. So Cynthia G. I was putting the final touches on that before I started. Let me bring up that Cynthia G video. She had a video and she mentioned the word sandwich. Now, I haven't listened to Cynthia G in quite some time. So, she's changed, to say the least. She's changed. Now, for Black women, going through the wall is a unique and interesting process. What it means is that you have someone to blame, whether it's white supremacy, unlike any other group. Black women have someone to blame when they hit the wall, where other groups, they just have to, they just have to accept it more or less. They could still blame men, they could still blame, whomever. But at the end of the day, they more or less just embrace it. They more or less just say, you know something, I messed up. I should have made better mating choices in my 20s. I should have done different things. They come to that conclusion so they don't instill in their daughters the same way. There's a certain level of accountability. They take accountability for their actions because, let's face it, when you're white, who can you blame? Can't really blame Black men like that. You really have nobody to blame, so you blame yourself, and which is good because a large part of it is your fault. Now, there's always going to be that girl. Whether you want to call her a wallflower, or a not really social, there's always going to be that girl that's just not cool like that. If you're in college and there's an apartment or a place that's the spot that everybody kick it in, there's always going to be that person, boy and girl, who, man and woman, who really just isn't invited to the cookout. And it's not that they're uninvited, because it's pretty much open. That's how we as Black people do things, especially like when it comes to like parties or neighborhood parties or something like that. So it's really not that, unless it's a family affair. It's more like nobody told you that they were having a party type deal. And then if you get there, you're awkward, uncomfortable, and you just kind of, you're just kind of in the corner with your shoulders shrugged. It's nothing really wrong with being that person per se. What becomes a problem is that person tries to end the party for everybody else. Because they're not really able to enjoy themselves in certain settings, but they would like to. These are the ones who will privately call the cops, or maybe even publicly call the cops and tell them and make a noise complaint. You see, because they are not invited to the party, they want to see it end. And that's why we have this dynamic. We have this group of women who are out, just trying to end the party forever. Now, love, marriage, baby carriage, all that good stuff is a party. It is a situation that women want to be in, that many women want to be in, but not every woman is capable or just fortunate. Some women, it's just like bad luck to be in. You had an unfortunate sequence of events, and the whole love, marriage, baby carriage thing wasn't for you. Maybe you were able to pull a baby carriage out of this unfortunate situation. However, that's not what you were looking for. You wanted the whole shebang. You wanted the love, marriage, baby carriage, and everything that comes with it. And it just wasn't in the stars for you. And it becomes a very tough pill to swallow. Why do I say that? Cynthia G has been going through transitions since I first heard her. When I first heard her, when she was in, and these transitions, oddly enough, spans from her early 30s to her now late 30s. So she started off in her early 30s. She was, you know, blackity black, black, blackity black, black, blackity black, black, black. You know, she's like, you know, black men should be against white people. Now, I should still be with them, as she said, you know, in one of her previous things. It's okay to make money off of them and blah, 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 if they tricking on you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I can deal with white men if it's in my financial best interest. However, you can't deal with white women if it's in your sexual best interest. Doesn't make sense. And that's when things started to get a little hairy right there. But she was still for black relationships when she thought that she would receive one. And then as time went on, she moved from that to black men need to improve themselves to make themselves available or worthy of black women who have not improved themselves collectively, and in her case, even individually. So she went on that tangent for a long time. And that's the one that we have most recently seen for quite some time. And she used shame as a tactic to get them to improve. But it's really not to get them to improve. It's really to get them to say, you are not worthy of anything better than us. Because truth be told, deep down, she looks at other groups of women as better than her because culturally they are. So, you know, she's saying that you do not deserve the better women. So you might as well stick with us. Is essentially what she's getting at. And now she just went full on, you know, swirl, swirl, swirl. And that's pretty much the journey through the wall for a lot of black women. And all she's doing, all she really wants to do is she wants to eliminate younger, hotter, sexier, childless competition for herself. Now, I don't know. I don't really watch all of her videos, but I truly doubt that she has, you know, just closed the legs, so to speak, on black men in general. She probably hasn't, but she's convincing others to do so. So because really, she doesn't deal well with competition. And this is because women like her always lose. I can explain why and probably do that later. But because women like her always lose the competition for men, when men have options, she attacks not only the competition, and that's when she talks about, you know, that's why she used so many pejoratives for white women. She attacks not only the competition, but she attacks the people who choose the competition. All in an effort to not compete once again. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the video. This is called "She Refused to Fix His Sandwich." This was his response. Fair use, people, fair use. All right, let me get past the intro.
Was sent to me, and I don't know where this video originates, but I do know that it's making its way around social media. I actually got this video yesterday, but look, I just didn't feel like talking about a butterball turkey in a Hardee's fast food restaurant that he doesn't belong in, demanding that someone make him a breakfast sandwich when he really should be spending his mornings perhaps doing something healthier, like running on a treadmill with a high incline or getting on an elliptical.
Okay. Y'all hear this, right? She's making fat jokes about a black man. Okay. It's open season now. It's open season. Do you really want to go fat for fat? Because come on now, we're the best athletes in the world. Let's not go there. Let's not go there, sweetie.
But this is the elephant in the room that he looks like that nobody really wants to address. So this video is making its rounds about social media. Like I said, it got about 1.5 million views on Twitter alone. And this is a very telling video because once again, it proves my point. And I'll say it again, like I said it before. The only thing Black women really must do is sit back and observe Black men prove my point over and over and over and over and over. And this is why they get so triggered, because I come on.
Well, the reason why Black men get so triggered is because what you're trying to do is you're trying to trigger them. And I think that you feel that in your triggering of them, that they somehow are going to be interested in you when they otherwise wouldn't. What you want is guys who are, generally speaking, out of your league to embrace you. And don't get me wrong, that's what every man and woman wants. Every man and woman wants to date out of their league. And most of us understand that the only reasonable way that happens is, well, there's several ways that can happen. One is just a fortunate sequence of events, and two, if that person doesn't really realize that they're out of your league. So you are going to constantly trigger them, trying to attack the ego of men so that they feel so little of themselves that they'll fuck you. And really, that's where we're going, because that's a lot of effort to get some penis. To get into a relationship, that's a lot of effort. And because of your age, well, I won't go there. All right, let me continue.
On here, I talk about their pathology. I talk about Black women's need to divorce herself from this one-sided, non-reciprocal, exploitative relationship that we have with Black men.
Okay, so now this is divesting talk. This is divesting. In order to divest, you have to invest. You have to first invest in order to divest. Now, Simji, let me ask you something. What have you ever invested in Black men? Now, stop and think about that, and think about that as it applies to all of the divestors. What have they ever invested into Black men? I mean, she may or may not have a child by a Black man who had children previously, and nothing wrong with that, I guess, and I'm not too familiar with the circumstance. We know that at one point she was pregnant, and that's all we know. So she may or may not have a child, but what has she actually invested? What has she done individually for Black men that she can now take away? I'll leave y'all to think on that.
And due to the socialization and the fact that we're in a Black male worshiping culture, and what happens is the trash bag.
She is saying that we are in a Black male worshiping culture. What about modern Black women's culture? What part of modern Black women's culture is about worshiping the Black man? Think about that. What about modern Black culture, Black women's culture, is about worshiping the Black man? No, she's just trying to get the very few loyalists and pick-me's that are out there to turn.
Bag bandits drag their 3 trash bags of dust into my comment section, or they'll get on raggedy videos and they'll get triggered and mad because the whole entire time unknowingly I've been speaking about them. And what they fear is that Black women are going to come to our senses and realize that we're in a one-sided, non-reciprocal, exploitative relationship with these men that has created a pathology of dust, that has created a pathology of arrogance and entitlement that essentially leads to this behavior in this video. And I'm also going to talk about in here the cowardice that seems to be innate in them. I don't know whether this is the result of selective breeding over time, but what I do know is...
She said this is the result of selective breeding over time. That's a very weird thing for her, of all people, to say, considering your process of selective breeding. Like, your process of selective breeding is probably a result of poor selection. So the fake Cynthia G said, how am I supposed to be able to compete with women who can actually grow hair out of their heads? I'm too old to compete with women who are in shape. I haven't invested anything because I can't. Well, you could have. You could have in the past, true, but you didn't. You didn't invest your efforts in, you didn't invest your submission. You didn't invest your womb. You didn't even invest your money. Like, you didn't invest anything. You just was there. You was just there trying to get as much as the white man that you claim to hate money as possible. So you didn't invest anything.
That number one, there's a high level of cowardice here, but number two, there's a high level of contradiction and false narrative that goes around about Black men with regards to protection. And you're going to see some of that in the comment section, because there's a lot of declarations of cowardice, as well as gaslighting and making excuses for not really behaving in the manner that men behave in. And so we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about...
I love it when women, particularly Black women, talk about the manner in which men should behave. Ever notice how when women, particularly Black women, define masculinity, it's always to their benefit? The definition of masculinity always seemed to benefit the female. I don't know, it's just a little convenient, to say the least. It's a little convenient that, yes, my definition of masculinity is protect me. It's like, okay, well, my definition of femininity is suck my penis. Thoroughly. And get me a sandwich.
About some of the oppressive ways of the men within our community. I'm not going to say there are men, because they've always been property of men of no color in the streets. However, they are men within our community. They are attached to us indefinitely, because at the end of the day, Black women are the ones who are giving birth to them. And I'm not saying that you are the reason they act like this, although...
Are you giving birth to them? Are you giving birth to them? Because what you said should really apply to all men. It should apply to every non-white man out there, right? Yet it seems as if it only applies to us. I mean, like, if you look at a typical, let's just say, Mexican woman, she gives birth. She has a higher fertility rate. If you ask her, what has she invested to her man, her community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, she'll point to all of her kids, which are also his kids. She don't take those kids away from him and attempt to, in an attempt to raise them herself. Same with Asian women, You ask an Asian woman who's 50, what has she contributed to the Asian community? She'll point to her sons, 2 of whom are doctors. But well, let us continue.
There is a level of accountability that we need to take over their actions, because we do live in a counterproductive black male worshiping culture that we help to perpetuate, and we need to stop doing it, because ultimately we're helping.
There is no black male worshiping culture. Fellas, black men, do y'all feel worshipped in this culture? Like, do y'all feel like this culture worships us?
Helping to perpetuate the very behavior and mentality that we say that we don't like. So we're going to cover a lot of that here. I want to give a thanks and shout out to everyone who sent me stories on this channel. I actually got a ton of emails about this yesterday. If you guys want to contribute to the content on the channel, you can do so by emailing me. The email address is in the description box and pinned to the comment section. And if you haven't already done so and you like the content, thumbs up the video or thumbs it down. Subscribe to the channel. When you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll know every time I go live and when I upload new content. So y'all, I've been on this hair care journey, and I'm sure all of y'all know a huge part of that is finding the right products for your hair.
Okay. So now she's doing a commercial, right? She's doing a commercial for hair care products, which is very bizarre, which is very, very weird that this company is poor marketing. It's poor marketing at best. What do I mean by that? So, how can I say this? If you are selling yourself as a fitness coach, as a bodybuilder, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, if you are selling yourself in this way, then it is important that you have a nice body. Like, this is the body that you can have if you become a member, if you become a person that uses my product. This is the body that you can inevitably have. What she is doing is, or what these advertisers are doing, is they're taking a woman with no hair, or who knows what she has going on underneath the wig, to sell hair care products. Like, if you use these particular hair care products, what's it called? Everything Ebony. If you use these particular hair care products, you too can be bald. That is just so bizarre. That is the worst marketing you can do. That's like getting, I don't know, like Stubbs from Lean On Me to become a fitness coach. All right, let's continue.
And it actually took a little bit for me to do this. I was introduced to a company called Everything Ebony, and they have a really great product line. It's an all natural hair care line that's made for us, by us. And I've tried the products. These are products that you can feel working.
I tried the products. These are products you can feel working. Oh, this will never stop being funny. This will never stop being funny.
They also smell amazing. I tried them on my hair at night, and the next morning I woke up.
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. I tried it on my hair in the morning and the next morning. Oh, this is classic.
My hair was soft. It was still
My hair was soft.
conditioned, it retained the moisture, and it was easy to work through. So hit the link in the description box. Go to Everything Ebony. Try them yourself. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And remember that Everything Ebony is hair care made for us, by us.
Oh, for us, by us. Is that, does the us mean like chicks with wigs on? You have a wig on. That's like a guy with 5 kids by 4 different baby moms selling condoms. Oops. Oops. Yeah, please hit that like button, people. All right, let's continue.
And so listen, because I'm going to let you guys see this very short video in just a minute here. There is a narrative going around that Black men are giving because it is highlighted that they're failing to really do anything in their community. And this is something I was just talking about yesterday, because Black women, and I was one of them myself, we tend to operate daily not understanding really the situation that we're in and why we're in it. So let me say this for the 3 trash bag struggle dusties who are going to get in my comment section and compare themselves to women because that's all that they can do. They can't compare themselves to other men, because when they compare themselves to other men, their shortcomings are highlighted. And so I'm going to compare them to other men now. Black men don't act the way other men do, and that's negative.
Yeah, this is true, and it is negative. I can agree to that. Can you agree that y'all don't act the way other women act? Or has ever acted ever?
So when I say that, I'm saying Black men are the only male group who advertise their cowardice, who have no standard of manhood, who have no problem going against the women who give birth to them, i.e. their creator. And this is something that Black women don't acknowledge on a day-to-day.
Now, why would you acknowledge something like that on a day-to-day? Okay. So basically, she's saying that Black women should wake up every morning and do a Black man ain't shit, like seance or rant or whatever, affirmation. That aside, like, notice how all the things that she stated had to do with how Black men treat Black women. Because, we should compare how one group of men treat their women with how Black men treat us, is essentially what she's saying. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but we have to examine the women that they are treating that way. That's a fair assessment.
Basis, and part of me believes this because we don't want to acknowledge it. We don't want to acknowledge the fact because it's safer for us mentally, emotionally, and psychologically to ignore the fact that, number one, we're in this system because of Black men. If Black men chose to do something about their subjugated state, we wouldn't be in this system. In order for women to be subjugated to a system that is governed by an outside group, the men first have to be subjugated into that system. So we are in this system because of Black men. Black men are not in this system because of us. Because at the end,
it's very true that, I guess you are in this system because of Black men. And that is free. You see, Lincoln is quoted for saying, if I could keep the Union together and keep slavery going, I would. But because the war wasn't going too well for the Union and they needed soldiers, they offered blanket freedom. Where the South was offering individual freedom, they were offering blanket freedom. So you should thank Black men for being free, actually.
End of the day, Black men can choose to liberate himself, but he doesn't want to, and he's never wanted to, and there's something going on in his psyche.
Now, is it the Black men who never wanted to? Because Marcus Garvey, shout out to Marcus Garvey, is quoted for saying, if as many Black women came with me as Black men, then I would have been successful. So Black men do want to liberate themselves. It's just that they are comfortable in this system of white supremacy. And the reason why they're comfortable in white supremacy and with white supremacy is because they can play the two power groups against each other. They can always play Black men against white men and vice versa, as long as there's hostility between the two. So that's why when she first came on, she wanted to, create the hostility and the tension between Black and white men so that she can play both sides against each other.
To where he believes that it is okay to be comfortable in a system where you are solely dependent on another male group. What we also do know is that every other male group protects their women because they understand their women is not only an extension.
Oh, God. Every other male group protects their women. But, I mean, you're overlooking the fact that the women their behaviors warrant protection. And for one, they can actually call them their women because they behave as such. Okay, Coach Ali, shout out to you. It says, I would contest that if you read the book, Black Slave Masters, there were free Black folks that owned slaves. 60% of them were Black women. How are we going to tear down a system that they contribute to? Yeah, there were a lot of, Black slave owners, true. And I don't doubt that the majority of them were women, considering that women live longer than men. And, when you widow, you inherit someone's property. So including slaves. So yeah, I don't doubt that at all. But I mean, as far as modern system goes, they will contribute to the system of white supremacy and they will benefit from it. They're not going to leave a system that gives them welfare to a system that doesn't give them welfare. They're not going to put themselves in a situation where they have to make a sandwich to survive. They're just not. So their desire for independence is always going to make their loyalty to the one who offers them the greatest independence. And that is, in this particular case, the white man. And actually, just internationally, they offer the most more independence to women than any other group of men has ever done in history. And you could just look at all the other world cultures and you'll see that to be true. So they will. Now, I will say that most cultures don't really seek it as aggressively as Black American women. But that's another story. Okay, shout out to you again, Coach Ali. Thanks a lot for the first one. And it says, shout out to you, by the way. Thanks a lot, brother. All right. So.
But a reflection of themselves. So when a male group shows the world that he is not going to protect the women that he came from, i.e. his creator, that shows a lot about said male group. And
did y'all hear what she just said? I.e. his creator. Y'all hear? Because that's a God thing. That's what people call God. The creator. I am the creator. They feel that just by giving birth, you warrant protection.
And I believe that all of these hashtag situations is happening.
Okay, so someone made a good point. Someone said protection from what? Protection from protection from the wall, basically. protection from the wall. That is what they fear the most. They're not in fear of bodily harm. They're not in fear of, how can I say this? They're not in fear of foreign invaders or things like that. What they are in fear of is the wall. That is their biggest enemy. We should protect them from that.
Is the result of the fact that Black men have publicly made it known that they're not going to protect themselves or their community. So it's open season at the end of the day.
Well, you got to have a community. A community is a collection of families. Families is a collection of individuals, of related individuals, and a community is a collection of related families. Absent that, because a family structure is, dismantled, not only is there very little community to protect, there is also the women who cry protection aren't really part of the community. You're not part of a family, sweetie. Like, you are not attached to a man, and through you and him are attached to other men and women who are married. That's what independence is. And I'm not saying that she claims strong independent, even though she probably does. What I am saying is that she lives her life as an independent woman, perhaps by choice or perhaps just by not having a worthy enough vagina. Nevertheless, she is in this situation.
But I want you guys to take a look at this video. It's a short video. Gauge the butterball turkey, gauge his attitude, gauge his arrogance, gauge his mindset, as well as who he's talking to. And then we're going to come back and break down what you just saw in this video here. And I'm going to explain to Black women how we have helped to facilitate this 3 trash bag, I'm entitled, you need to give me a breakfast sandwich when I need to be pursuing a
Yes, you should get me a sandwich at my command.
A veggie smoothie type mentality. Take a look at this video. I'll come back for further commentary.
All right, commercial. All right, I'll share the video with you all. Fair use, people, fair use. Okay. This dude obviously is not all there. He should be arrested, and yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there's a lot wrong with this dude. I will admit to that. He doesn't represent the rank and file Black man, but let's continue to watch how this plays out. Now, I want to point out the white man right here. Let me point out that there is a equally out of shape white guy right here that's balding. That's going to come up later, I promise.
I get mine. Hey, bitch. Go holler.
Now, so she clipped this picture. I don't know why there are trash bags there. I don't know if she cropped that in there to say 3 trash bag guys or something like that. I don't know what her deal is, because that would be very weird to have trash bags like right on the counter in front of food like that. That's kind of disgusting. That is very disgusting. All right, so salute Calvin Rogers. Now let's hear her take on it.
I saw that video, and there's quite a bit to unpack here with this fried butterball turkey. And when I say fried, it's not in reference to a skin tone, because I know there's some people who will get triggered over that. The bottom line of it is a turkey doesn't have any color until it's cooked, either baked or fried. Then it turns brown. Prior to that, it is just a white turkey. So at the end of the day, this is a fried butterball turkey. So all over these social spaces, what is the most common thing that you hear Black men talk about when it comes to Black women aesthetically? You hear from literally a kitten sitting in heels in a dark room with a candle lit being a sugar booty, but not telling the world he's a sugar booty, to whatever 3 trash bag carrying struggle dusty that wants to claim he.
I think she's talking about Kevin Samuels with the whole sugar booty thing, because she referenced the candles as well. But Kevin Samuels represents the guy that she wants but don't want her. So she settles for the guy that impregnated her. Now she realized now that the older she gets, the less and less and less and less likely it will become that she will ever get a Kevin Samuels. And this is true. This is true. Not only individually, but collectively, they're just not checking for her like that. And it's not even just her age. It's her resume. Her resume sucks. Meaning that if you have a guy, a quote unquote high value guy, and let's just say he's 45, he'll look at her, and let's just say he has kids that are grown, so he's not really looking to start a family. So her, soon to be, dysfunctional womb doesn't really come into play here. He will look at her and say, you have no experience sustaining and maintaining a relationship. You have never submitted to a man in your entire life. Even if he never heard the channel before, he can say that. You're just trying to come at the 11th hour and say, oh, here's some submission when you've never really done it before. She would be better off being married with 3 kids and divorced, which is a bad situation, but her situation is far worse. Because she has something worse than children and worse than anything. And that is a refusal to submit. All right, so let's continue.
He's high value, even some of the overweight ones, talking about Black women.
All right, so Dane, the dots on the screen, yeah, it's I don't know where I was going with it, if it's supposed to be fishes or whatnot, but I was just thinking of like a clever way to display the names of my members. So if you want your name here, then become a member. Now, as you can see, you have like number 16 right here. So basically the dots kind of spell out the names of the supporters. Right here going up, we have Man of Tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what's going on with the dots on the screen. So become a member, and I'll put your name up here too. But yeah, maybe I should turn them into fishes. Who knows? I'll keep that in my brain. Oh yeah. Yeah, so you're the largest supporter, number 16. So that's why you have the largest dots, so to speak. or circles, but where is it at? Oh, yours is right here. So basically when you collide with other ones, it kind of shifts them to the side or grabs them and takes them along with them and stuff like that. So you just kind of like ran through. Who is that? I don't know, somebody who Demetrius, you just kind of ran through and kind of messed up his chain. So yeah. Oh wow. I appreciate you. So number 16, I appreciate the large super chat in addition to that. Thanks a lot. So yeah, I would keep this up every time because I'm pretty sure your title is just looking at chess pieces while I talk. So I appreciate that a lot, and I appreciate the donation. Also, I'm gonna do a little bit more. I got a work project that I have to finish up. It's a new quarter, so things is light, but I do have a work project to finish up. When I'm done with that, I'll set it up to where when a super chat comes in, I'll be able to put you in here, put you in the tank, so to speak, when the super chat comes up, if you're not already in it. And if you're already in it, then I'll just like up you a level. But yeah, so there we go.
Weight. Yet you have a man here who literally looked like he swallowed a turkey whole, who is severely out of shape, who is unkept, who you can question, brother.
She said unkept. Like she has nothing to say about this chick. She called him unkept. Look at her. Look at her. Why on earth did she dye it blonde? She didn't comb it. She didn't grow it. She didn't shape it. She didn't perm it. But she dyed it blonde? And then all the other stuff. But no smoke for her, right? Like, isn't the woman supposed to be the beautiful one? Oh, that's other people's culture. You're right. If we lived in other people's culture, men would be getting with women who are more pretty than they are handsome. Homer Simpson and stuff. But because we live in this culture, men are critiqued for their looks. She's a fan of Simon Phoenix. All right. So let me continue.
He even got up in the morning and took a shower and brushed his teeth before he drove to Hardee's to demand that a woman.
I don't know if he took a shower. No matter what, this guy is out of line, Now, he may have just suffered like from severe disrespect prior to this. Apparently, his sandwich was wrong, so he took it up to them, and they're taking forever. Now, I will say that fast food restaurants are extraordinarily understaffed nowadays. Or maybe I'm just thinking Jack in the Box is understaffed because, when I worked fast food, the person that was working the drive-through was not the same person working the front counter. Because really what they're doing is two jobs. But ever since they got these wireless headsets, they just put the headset on a person, and now they're working two. So they fire a cashier and make them work two things. And then they seem to have like a skeleton crew in the back. So yeah, they are extraordinarily understaffed. It could be because of the raise in minimum wage or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, service is diminished. It's not necessarily the fault of the workers.
Makes him a breakfast sandwich. Notice how nobody wants to address the elephant in the room, which is the weight issues in black men. Nobody wants to address the hygiene issues in black men. They get to sit up here and make it.
So Rico Savage said something interesting. He took his sandwiches, ain't nobody did nothing, real G code. I mean, if I worked there, I'd be like, oh, damn, this nigga stole a sandwich. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I mean, even if it was like a woman or a midget, like, I'm not going to put hands on somebody for the sake of burger. I used to work at Burger King, or for the sake of Hardee's. Is this a profit share? Is this a profit sharing venture or something like that? Now, would I let him harm a fellow employee? Nah. But I mean, Am I gonna fight for like a 25-cent sandwich? No, forget that. And yeah, fights broke out on Burger King, and I'm like, that's Nagaga business.
Extreme contradictory statements and talk about Black women's weight, talk about the obesity levels among us. Meanwhile, are we going to pretend like a lot of Black men aren't obese looking?
But our obesity rate is lower than yours. But once again, it's not a comparison. See, she complains about Black men comparing themselves to Black women, but she's constantly comparing herself to Black men. This is her way of saying Black men do it too. But it's like, we do a lot of stuff because we're men. We're not supposed to be the beautiful ones.
Like they're ready to deliver a baby that they've been carrying for 9 months, i.e. the man in this video. See, the thing of it is
why is she mentioning baby? Because, irony.
They want to tell you about the healthy lifestyle choices that you should be making. They want to criticize and pick apart your appearance, but they don't want to turn that mirror to themselves.
I'll turn the mirror to myself. But just because fat Black men exist, should that be a reason for you to be a big woman yourself? And this is the argument of all peoples that don't work out. There exist big people out there. That's not a justification for you to be big. Just like there exist thieves out there. That's not a justification for you to be a thief. Just like there exist alcoholics out there. That's not a justification for you to be an alcoholic. Instead of for looking to improve thyself, they're looking for justification for not improving.
Want to get into counseling. They don't want to lose weight. They want to run up into a Hardee's and bogart a breakfast sandwich out of a woman. Like, I don't know what you think this is, but this isn't a bed and breakfast where you just get to go into a kitchen and demand that somebody fix the sandwich that you shouldn't be eating to begin with. Number one, fast food is unhealthy. And number two, how many Hardee's sandwiches did he have in order to get into the state that he's in? So this is low value all the way around, but nobody wants to address it. Because we live in a Black male worshiping culture where Black men are privileged.
Oh, gosh. Every time she says that, I cringe, because I know she don't believe it. Cynthia G is somebody who is desperate to look for someone to submit to. And she was unsuccessful at sustaining that her entire life for a multitude of reasons, but likely the reasons that you hear here.
Enough to not have to constantly face their
Bernard, check to see if your name is in here somewhere, because I don't see it. In fact, I don't remember putting it in. I'll check the code, but if it's not, then send me a message and I'll respond.
Downfalls, which are many. You have a very arrogant man who went up in here with this aggressive, hostile attitude because, like Woman Spirit, because she said it first, have been saying is they have horrible attitudes. And this is an example of that. They have entitled attitudes. And this is an example of that. Nobody owes him a sandwich. Nobody has to correct anything on a sandwich for him. Look, I understand.
Did this bitch say nobody owes him a sandwich? A man who paid for a sandwich, she just said nobody owes him a sandwich. Yes, if you buy a sandwich, then you're owed a sandwich. And then he said nobody owes him to correct the sandwich. But yes, if you mess up a sandwich, then you should correct it. So that is why she was unsuccessful of securing a guy to submit to long term, because she thinks like this. Nobody owes you a sandwich. He paid for a sandwich. Don't get me wrong. There is a million better ways he should have handled this situation. This was possibly the worst way to handle the situation. But he paid for a sandwich. Yes, they owe him a sandwich.
That if you go through a drive-through of a fast food restaurant chain that you shouldn't even be.
So in the beginning, I know that y'all probably didn't see it, but in the beginning, there was a bag there with a sandwich. Apparently something was wrong. Apparently something was wrong with the sandwich. So there's a bag there with a sandwich, and he was complaining that something was wrong. And apparently they were taking too long. Now, eventually he did steal a sandwich. And I'm hoping that that wasn't the sandwich she was looking for. Like, all she had to do was take it from one point to another. I'm hoping that that's not the case, because that would be like a lot of nothing for nothing. But yeah, anyway, that's what happened. But he is owed a sandwich because he paid for one.
Because you're already in the physical condition that this man is in, and something is wrong. You may be frustrated, especially if you're pressed for time. But does this dude really look like he's trying to get to a job on time? Does he really look like that, or does he really just...
It doesn't matter, really. Whether he's going, to a shareholders meeting, or he is going to catch the game, or he's going to play a video game himself, it doesn't matter. His behavior is not justified, but he is owed a sandwich. All right, let me check on eBurner. Let me see. Yeah, you're in there. So the colors are random. Yours probably came out like blue and it just blended in with the background or something like that. Let me and it also don't have a 27 in there, so I'll just do another one. Hold on.
Seem like he has the nasty, entitled attitude that a lot of men within our community have. That is what it is. And then it's interesting because if you look at that video, he bypassed it.
So is a man entitled for wanting what he paid for? Just like every other person alive? Like, is that an entitled mentality? You're basically saying black men don't deserve what they pay for.
Number of different men to go focus his attention on that woman. And see, because this is the safest path for them.
I really only noticed one man, the white man. And why would he do anything either? Like, this is, I mean, when I see a couple of, or I should say, when I see an idiot being an idiot, there's a whole system of stuff that to deal with stuff like that. I don't deal in idiot ventures, especially when nobody's being harmed.
They will buck up to and bogart a black woman and get very aggressive with her. But when it comes to addressing other men, they just walk by him. They act like they don't see him. And this is why
he's addressing the woman because she's the one with the sandwich. Now, I don't speak idiot, but I mean, I think that that's probably the reason. Like, is he still supposed to just go off on somebody in the crowd? And this is another way for black women to refuse to give black men a sandwich.
They always compare themselves to women. This is why on any given social media site, you can see them literally going in on women and comparing themselves to women, but they won't say anything to the men who even address them because this is a cowardly pathology. And I want to show you.
No, it's because we don't allow you to deflect as easily as you would like. Basically, when somebody points out Black women's cultural shortcomings, they like to deflect and say, "What about men?" And then, you're supposed to get wrapped up into that. And if you do, then they successfully deflect it. And if you don't, they'll say something like, "You're not addressing the men." No, we address the men too. So I heard she got into it with a goat nigga recently. Maybe that's what she's talking about. Or maybe that's who she's talking about. Who knows? But here, let me share this again. All right, eBurner. Everybody's color is different now. You should be able to see yours with the 27 there now.
Guys, some of these comments so you can see how they publicly make declarations and justifications for their cowardly behavior. So go ahead and take a look at these comments. Then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about some of these comments because look, once again, these 3 trash bag bandits, they're going to keep getting triggered because they're going to keep proving me right. The reason they are so triggered is because I'm right. They can talk about weed, they can talk about babies' moms or whatever and make any type of speculations that they want to. Okay, that's fine. You can say all that, brother.
So she's comparing this to weaves. She's comparing a single idiot to the multitude of women who walk around with their hair with somebody else's hair in their head. She's comparing this one imbecile to the multitudes of women that are overweight in our community.
That's true or not, what I'm saying about you is still true. And you know that, and that's why you're triggered, and that's why you're slinging your bags of dust all over my comment section, probably right now as we speak. Take a look at this comments, and then I'll come back for final commentary.
Okay, so this is going to... Hold on, she's gonna just look at comments. I'm not gonna read any of these, so I'll just skip past that.
Now, you guys saw those comments and listen, because right now in this comment, there's a lot of things going on. And a lot of them are highlighting the contradictions of Black men. It's highlighting the depravity that they've chosen to become. It's highlighting their aggression. It's highlighting their cowardice. It's basically validating everything that I've been saying. So the universe, I feel, is smiling down on me and saying, you've been right.
So some idiot somewhere behaves some way, and she feels that the universe is smiling on her? How sad is your life? How sad is your life to where a Twitter video of a guy behaving, foolishly is God shining on you? That is sad. That is sad. You are so depraved of life, of happiness, that watching this, niggas do stupid stuff all the time. When I was a kid, and I was a kid during the in the 80s, during the crack epidemic, we seen niggas do stupid stuff all the time. I got $2. I got $2. We seen stuff like that all the time. That wasn't the highlight of our lives, even back then. Even when our lives was only like 10 years, that wasn't the highlight of our lives. Wasn't like, oh, God is shining down on me. It's like, oh, wow. Really? You should aim bigger, sweetie.
About number one, this 3 trash bag carrying struggle dusty pathology. And number 2, about this black male worshiping culture. So let me just allow reality to validate your claims. And one day, at some point, I'm hoping soon, black women are going to realize that I've been right this whole entire time. And look, I've had to go through a process. I used to be one of those black women who would sit up and defend black men, who would.
Yes, when you were younger, hotter, sexier, childless, and your prospects looked promising, you were a defender of black men. Now, you wasn't a submitter to black men, which is why you failed in your escapade, but you were a defender of black men. And by defender, I mean you defended black men against aggressors that don't exist. We don't want your defense. What the entire fuck do we need your defense for? We want your submission. Absent that, you could keep your defense.
Focus only on black male issues, and that's because I was socialized just like everybody else was socialized to do that. And now we have a certified 3 trash bags, struggle dusty, I'm entitled, I don't have to protect, I don't have to provide, I don't have to do anything pathology. The comments were sickening, and it was many of them. Comment after comment after comment with the very same black men who are in my comment section right now as we speak on my video about Dante sitting up there talking about how black women need to involve themselves in business that number 1 doesn't pay them and number 2 isn't theirs, because that is an entire 3 trash bag carrying struggle dusty with women of no color, and the byproduct of that, it doesn't have anything to do with black women. Yet in every single one of those comments.
Huh? So you won't engage in a job unless it pays. Okay. You're going to be a crappy mother because guess what? That's a job that don't pay. If you are a mother, you are going to be a crappy mother. If you're not a mother, chances are you won't be a mother at all. But yeah, women who say stuff like, I will not engage in jobs that don't pay. Wow. Wow. You would suck as a parent. Suck. Which is what you should do so you don't become a parent. All right, so.
You consistently saw black men talking about how, number 1, they're not going to protect the stranger. Number 2, they're not going to say anything or protect any black woman just because she is black. Number 3, it's not their business. Number 4, why should they get involved? And number 5, you saw the aggressive, nasty attitudes that they have, the gaslighting, bringing up.
She called our attitude aggressive and nasty. And then she said they when it's just one person. Shout out to Silent Lamont. I get you.
The issue of, your Steve Jobs was strong, independent, you don't need no man, so why y'all asking black men to protect? Why you want black men to protect? I thought y'all was.
That's exactly how we sound.
Strong and independent, you ain't need no man, and now every time this happens, y'all want black men for protection. Listen, how long are they gonna sit here and use this old, played out, already debunked notion that somehow somebody said they were strong and independent? Because you literally have children that they won't protect. They won't protect themselves. I've always said black men are the biggest feminists on the planet. It's funny because they talk so much.
What children are they referring to? That's interesting. Is she just like throwing stuff out there?
About it, yet they are the biggest feminists on the planet. They always want to go 50-50. They always want to sit here and compare themselves to women, i.e.
Now that is true. as far as black men wanting to go 50-50, but you know, black women don't want to completely submit. So I get why, like, for a lot of black men, submission is off the table. We heard Lucario the other day, like, you know, that's not even something that they seek in women. So absent that, then 50-50 is really the only way to go. Roommates with benefits, so to speak.
Them being feminist minded, they always want to run around talking about my body, my choice. Somebody gave me a voice. So basically, they're feminists. This is literally a group of black men who are advertising their cowardice on social media as if this behavior is normal. They constantly demand submission, but when it comes to protection, they claim we are all equal and there's no difference between us. You guys saw some of those comments.
See, you should only protect, she's putting the cart before the horse. You should only protect someone that's under your leadership. There's a video I seen years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, where an Australian guy, or maybe he was in Africa, maybe they were in Africa, right? And he was one of these great white hunter types doing a safari tour. And they came across something. It wasn't like a lion or anything, but it was something on the ground. And it was like, what's this? And he said, I don't know, leave it alone. And then somebody decided to take it upon themselves to poke at it. And he just walked away. Like, I ain't dealing with that crap. I tell you not to mess with whatever that is on the ground. And you mess with it, I'm gone. And he was right to do that. If you do not submit, forget your protection. Figure it out. Walk home. And forget your great white hunter. Walk home. Even the president does what the Secret Service tells him. If the Secret Service was to say to Biden, get down, and he was to say, I don't submit to you unless you protect me. It's like, what? Then he's gone. Like, I mean, that's, yeah. You have to submit to one's leadership in order for them to protect you, period. Outside of that, I don't want to hear crap.
They also claim that you need to protect yourself, but submit to them at the same time. You have a whole entire 3 trash bag carrying struggle, Dusty.
No one is saying that. No one is saying submit to me and I won't protect you.
Demanding submission like this.
See, here's what I don't understand. You know, black.
Okay, so she's talking about this dude right here. Not familiar with him. He's not manosphere, but you know, apparently she wants that penis because she picked him to talk. So let's hear what he says, because I listened to him before, but in fast motion.
Black women complain about black men so much, and they complain about how we don't want them, how we sell out, how we really hate ourselves, and all this bullshit, right? But when somebody gives you an example of other races and men, examples of black men, why they date out their race, and how we want submissive women, automatically, why would she be your slave? No, it's not fucking being.
Now, what he's saying, and shout out to this brother, what he's saying is making perfect sense. It's like you won't have any complaints once you submit. But the problem is that for far too many of the black women, it's too late. For Cynthia G, it's too late, not just because of her age, but because of her resume. Her resume sucks. So that's why they just lash out.
Being a slave, it's not being a slave. It's called being submissive to your man because you love him. And that's what you should want to do. But, you know, as a result, you complain about black men dating outside their race. And you wonder why. Like we don't owe you shit. But that's fine. Keep being, you know, masculine and rebellious and disagreeable and hard to get along with. Black men are going to continue to date white women, Spanish women, Russian women. It don't matter. But guys, there still are submissive black women out there, and that's beautiful because I date them.
But then if you get up on social media.
So yeah, he wasn't even like bashing or anything. He's like, listen, submit and we'll be there. And he even said to, like me, you know, 2 black women that's submissive, y'all can get the penis. Penis. Y'all can get that. But you gotta submit. It's kind of stupid at this point. Like, I mean, you gotta be dense at this point when, you know, like you're complaining and we're telling you what to do to resolve the problem. You know, it's kind of like it's you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of House Party 1, and you got Martin Lawrence. He had a character called Bilal, and Bilal had really bad breath, apparently. And he was trying to get at the girls, and he was in their face, and you know, it's just constantly like dragon breath all the time. Something was wrong with his brain. Like, it's like, hey, you should like brush your teeth, wash your mouth, and you know, like not have stinky breath. Like, because it wasn't just like a 1-day thing. It was constant stink breath. So it's like, hey, take care of that and you will get sex. You obviously want sex. So take care of your oral situation and you will greatly improve your chance to have sex. But he didn't do it. Like, he went day in, day out on some dragon breath stuff. So it's that type of thinking. It's like, submit and you won't have these problems. Every time they complain, it's like, well, you should just submit. Like, just submit. Just give people a sandwich.
When it comes time for black men to prove why black women should submit to them, they drop the ball because at the end of the day, they don't deserve submission. They are comfortable. And as generations go by, as years go by, we see the degeneracy being compounded and being worsened with each different generation. It's a problem. They are literally saying this online as black women are protesting for the son of a black man and a woman of no color that has nothing to do with black women. I've read comments in my comment section with Dusty saying, so why y'all telling black women not to protest for that man? He one of ours. Y'all shouldn't be telling black women.
Okay, hold on, it's commercial. But fellas, do you really care about protesting? I don't want to see, like, you know, 100 or 200 fat chicks march. I truly don't care. And maybe this sounds insensitive to brothers who were unjustly, you know, done wrong, but I genuinely don't care. That's not going to make me want to sleep with another black woman more, especially if I'm not attracted to her. Like, if I wasn't attracted to her to begin with, I'm not going to like, oh, they marching, so I got to give this random black chick who didn't march some penis. And sweetie, I'm not going to give you penis because you marched. You can march all April and you won't get anything in May. Like, what do
catch me up, bro? What's going on, man? I was on another stream, bro.
Yeah, no worries. I'll catch you up in a second, bro. I promise. But I mean, yeah, I catch up with that. But yeah, the Bunker TV. Thank Zone. Zone does the thumbnails. So thanks to Zone on that one. But yeah, like, oh, we should stop marching. You think, oh, please don't stop marching for, I don't care. First of all, most of the people that march aren't even black. I don't care. Y'all march for your own attention. Y'all always marching just to be seen because most people don't want to see you on a day-to-day basis. It's an attention grab. Like, y'all don't really care, but even if you did, I don't care. Don't march. You think I care? You think I give two chits whether you march or not? Now you need to march on that damn treadmill 4 times a week. Then I would care.
Oh shit!
Outside of that, I don't want to hear nothing. All right, let me continue.
The reason they want Black women to defend them is because they won't defend themselves. And that's at the core of those comments.
Don't want it. Don't want it, don't need it, don't care.
At the core of those comments, they know they don't want no smoke from nobody. At the core of those comments, they know they're damsels in distress and they need somebody else to advocate for them. At the core...
By calling Black men damsels, you're basically saying we're more handsome than you are pretty.
Part of the issue is they know we live in a Black man worshiping culture, so no matter how much they put all of this on social media,
it's not worshiping. And if it is, then stop doing it. Like, go to the gym. Like,
yeah, there are going to be some Black women who are willing to engage in the very masculine behavior of protecting and protesting for men who...
Is that what they call protecting? Marching after the fact, is that what they call protecting? And is that what they're complaining that they're not getting enough of? Oh, Jesus.
That's fucked up. That's deranged.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do the same for them. If they were even men, they wouldn't even want you out there. So there's every indication of why they should be checking their pathology, but they refuse to do it. Now, when I talked about Stephon Clark and his negative sentiments towards Black women, and I said Black women should not be advocating for any man who didn't even like them, then they came and...
So, rest in peace, Stephon Clark. Well, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I'm going to just say I met his brother, and I'm going to leave it at that. But rest in peace, Stephon Clark.
And said, oh, the situation is bigger than who he was with. And that you should literally advocate for him just because Black men need their issues highlighted. They won't highlight them themselves. They won't advocate for themselves. They won't advocate for you, but they want you to put yourself out there for them. Meanwhile, they're all over social media telling you...
Because we don't. Like, we don't care. We don't care about your marches. And I think that is what's really getting Cynthia G. One of the many things. That they can't sell us on racial solidarity anymore. You know, because they used to do that. They used to say, you know, these are the women that march with King. And they make it seem like, you know, like it's 40 million of them, like all walking behind King or something like that. It's like, okay, we should do that because of the Rosa Parks ass whoopings of yesteryear. I mean, what's the, you know, because don't try to sell me on that. That's nothing. That's like, I should do you because of Rosa Parks. I should do you because of Harriet Tubman. No.
Constantly, we're not going to do the same. We don't know you, we ain't fighting for you. If we don't know you, we ain't protesting for you. And they...
Good. Stop the protest. You're making everybody look foolish.
Show you it. How many Black men were out there protesting for Breonna Taylor? Well, they don't. They're not going to put themselves out there. They're scared. At the end of the day, they can...
No, nobody wants to. By and large, Black men are not attention whores. Or whores for that matter, but still.
Can mention feminism, they can mention independence, they can mention whatever they want to, but the bottom line of it is that they're not protecting themselves. They're too scared to do anything about their own issues, so at the core of it, they're too scared to do anything to protect you.
Kit Cloud says, scared of what? Well, I tell you the things that Black men are scared of. Being placed on child support, being placed on alimony, having a lie sent to them by the cops, being snitched on to the cops, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So really, it seems like the things that Black men fear the most involve You. Just saying.
Oh yeah. When you put that comparison, whether whether who's more dangerous, the black woman or the damn police.
Yeah, exactly.
Should not be submitting to him. Not only are these men refusing to provide protection or advocacy, but they're also annoyed and they get very hostile whenever a black woman mentions the expectation that they provide advocacy and protection. Mind you, nobody told them to put their hands on this man.
It is annoying. It's annoying because it's an unreasonable request coming from the worst possible place to come from.
Won't even verbally protect you. There were men all up and through there. That man walked boldly by another man, probably because he knows.
She's not gonna say that. Remember when I those of you who was here earlier when I was showing the video, what was the color of that man? He was a white man. See, she left that part out. She left that part out. But yes, this was a white man.
Black men aren't going to do anything because he's one of them. That's why I'm saying these other male groups, they already know black men aren't going to stand in the way of them doing anything in this community. And that's why they come and go and do whatever they want to as they please. Black women need to understand the cowardly pathology of these males. They really do. They cannot defend or protect themselves, so they're certainly not going to defend or protect another person. It's just that simple. But once again, black men are telling black women and showing us that they don't feel a need to protect you, yet they want you to protect and submit to them. How much more of this do black women plan to endure? How much more of this do black women plan to ignore?
Once again, we don't want your protection. And why are you equating protection to marching? Because I can guarantee you that if black men started marching for dead black chicks, they're not going to feel protected. They're not going to say, oh, they protect us because of the march. Damn. She is a true headache.
And sit up there and say, it's not all black men. As if majority don't rule and it's not the majority. How long will black women continue to engage in this one-sided, non-reciprocal relationship in which we literally give everything to black men, they ignore it and deny it and say that's not the case and receive nothing in return?
Hey, nigga, is this the video? Is this the video where she said where she said black men are not worth procreating with?
No, this is she refused to fix his salmon, and this is what happened video. So, but basically, she said that they have given everything. She has given nothing. She has given nothing. Ever. But correct me if I'm wrong. Can somebody tell me what has she given?
It's truly sad that black men have allowed themselves to be demanded and reduced to this, but this is what they've allowed to happen and they're comfortable with it. And this is why they take pride in it and see it as normal. If they didn't think this was normal, do you think they would be advertising it all over social media? They have no problem advertising to the world how scary and cowardly they are, yet they're still wondering why one of them becomes a hashtag every week, basically. It's lost on them. They can't make the connection between the two. Then when black women call out the cowardice, the gaslighting, they get angry and throw a trash bag tantrum and sling dust all over the place, much like what you saw in that comment section, complaining that black women are calling out their cowardice, that they're literally advertising on a public platform for everyone to see and comment on. There were other men who commented on those comments and on that post, yet most of the attention was directed towards the women. So if black women, if you keep choosing to turn a blind eye to this and not see the writing on the wall and not heed the messages that the universe or God or whatever is sending you, you're going to continue to be in this pattern and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So the decision is yours, really. But you guys get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about Mr. Butterball here. Do you think he should have even been in a Hardee's, or should he perhaps have been in a raw vegetable juice bar, getting something that's more healthy and that's not going to contribute to the 2 dozen of Krispy Kreme donuts hanging out in his midsection. And then they have the nerve to be talking about black women's weight as if they running around here so fresh and clean and fit and looking pristine when they're not.
Greatest athletes in the world. But yeah, if you want to go there, black men don't know how to dress or, you know, anything like that. And we're not fit. Yeah. Try to sell that to people.
You know what, Game Changer? She gave us something. It's a damn headache.
Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Subscribe to all notifications.
All right. So that's the end of that. Fellas, let's start with Ray. Ray, what's on your mind? What's your thoughts? Oh, did you see your name up here, Ray? Or did you wait? Let me see if I put it in there.
What?
No. What's on your mind?
Nah, man, just shit. Hey, that bitch is nuts, man. She crazy as a motherfucker. Yeah, I seen a little bit of her shit on live, man. You know what I mean? When I was just looking for some music and shit, and I just happened to see her shit. I'm like, man, let me see what this crazy bitch saying. Mm-hmm. Man, this bitch is going on talking about that black man ain't worth procreating with and shit. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? Oh, hell no.
Easy on the swears. I'm trying to keep it, you know.
Okay, my bad, bro.
Yeah, don't trip. Go ahead.
But yeah, you know what I mean? The black man ain't worth procreating with and all that, man. It's just crazy, dude. I'm like, what is she on, man? and then this video, and oh man, it's just, oh God, don't take nothing this bitch say seriously, bro. It ain't even worth listening to this bitch, man. Like, really, she ain't even worth letting motherfucker getting you upset, man. You know what I mean? Don't let her get you upset, bro. Shit, fuck this bitch, man.
Well, no, it's
my
not.
Bad.
It's not about getting upset. It's about recognizing the behavior. Because I want fellas to understand why she's doing it. When a woman starts to approach 40, and it gets worse, believe it or not, she's going to get worse when she actually hits 40. When she hits 40, you know, because I've seen the cycle happen, played out so many times. Once they hit that 40 mark, women like this, you know, they become worse. And even the ones who are decent, like, you know, oh yes, I'm going to do this, they become worse. Now, don't get me wrong, it's bad when a white woman finds herself single at 40. However, they don't have the ability to blame white men, as I was saying earlier.
So basically, which makes it more clear that, to sum it all up, that her purpose has been, from what I've seen thus far over the past, 3-4 years? Yeah. That it's been to turn black women against black men, you know what I mean, to be even more at a clash with each other and shit, basically trying to, you know, keep us from coming together.
Well, she's trying to eliminate competition, is what she's trying to do.
Hey yo, game changer. Hey yo, shout out to the panel, yo. Shout out to the chat and all that.
Let me get Mel in here before we go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Go for it, Mel. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man, this woman is a extremist. She's been like that even in her 20s. Like that in the 30s, and just like you said, just going to different levels. In her 40s, going to even go worse. I don't know if it's something beyond a cat lady. Cause I don't even think cats and dogs won't even want to be around her. Where she acting.
Well, dogs have sensitive hearing, so you know.
So more like the dogs ain't gonna want to deal with that. So yes, he ain't gonna run as fast. Probably they make the dog ear bleed. Even that damn voice of hers, like that annoying voice. I'm like, take a walk. I don't pay no heed to that woman. I don't even care. She go sit in a ditch somewhere. Her, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I don't pay no heed because there's no hope for her and stuff. And any woman that want to keep listening to her and follow her advice, then you know what? Let the consequences be on you. No hope for you either, too. That's how I feel.
That's what happens when you give a patient from the Arkham Asylum a damn laptop.
Pretty much, yeah. So Black, the guy, what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, man. So it's crazy. I be in a couple of chats, particularly one, Bro Sanchez, right? And you know, I get into my flat power talk. I get into a lot of different topics, and somehow we ended up talking about Cynthia G on our chat, which is weird. Like how she even make it over there. And I was noticing that the brothers was bending, and we talk so deep. We have all these great builds, And on this particular stream, I'm noticing that everybody downplaying. We playing dumb. It's people coming up saying common sense, like debunking this woman. First comment, these people getting silenced, taken off. I'm noticing that it don't matter if you a flat earther. It don't matter if you a gamer. She's making her way on all male platforms and causing division and chaos. Because I don't even know how, if we're so smart and we build on these deep topics, how we ended up confused and lost and arguing with each other over this woman. It's the craziest thing I ever heard. And I can debunk her right now with her own words. She said, ain't nobody marched for Breonna Taylor. What's she gonna say about NFAC? That's a predominantly, I mean, that's majority black men out there. And them men was all on CNN, news, them boys traveling. I've donated money. I know people who donated money to it. So for her to say that, but then downplay NFAC when they're all over the world, Marshall for Bree, Justice for Bree, she just throwing topics out there to make us fight, bro.
Exactly. She wants to cause division between the two. But like, I mean, what's the division? I don't get it. Like, is there some guys that are pro Cynthia G's, and because I'm pretty sure that there are guys that are against her, but is there some black guys who are pro Cynthia G?
Hell no.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past it. I wouldn't put it past it though, man. I mean, shit. Look how many of the fucking male feminists there are out here right now. You know what I mean?
But this isn't feminism. This is something worse.
Yeah.
Like this is more like demanding something from people that you don't respect or anything. Like
exactly. She's literally
this is biting the hand and then demanding that they feed you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's literally telling you like, yo, black man ain't worth
trash. Hell.
They ain't worth nothing.
I've seen that mentality everywhere.
We ain't worth nothing. It's like when you see like something like a martial art film when the student is overtraining himself and the teacher keeps saying not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, and they make him seem like that's his way of trying to push him to the limit, but technically, like, yo, sometimes over pushing someone to the limit is like, you could kill him that way, break the body. That's what she's trying to do with black men. She's trying to break
GC, look at the private chat.
Oh yeah, no, keep going.
She's basing it off of her own experience. Like, yo, you gotta accept the fact that either your mother was a hoe and she chose the wrong dude, or your father ain't shit. But you have your own life to live and stuff, and she chose to live it this way, and you know what? It's backfired. And now she became the statistic. Now she's a single mother, but ain't shit dude. You followed in your mom's footsteps, so that should even be more of a wake up call to you. That way, that damn, I became what my mother is. So tell me, I should not be on these brothers as hard as I am because now I became the statistic. No, you become now worse. Now it's like, yo, she's gonna be beyond at the foot. It's gonna be like another level beyond, like over 9,000.
Well, yeah. I mean, so the people who are asking, is she 40? The answer is I don't know exactly how old she is, but I do know that she was 35 when she was pregnant, and that wasn't quite 5 years ago.
Didn't she used to work as an escort or something?
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, her. Yeah, but towards white dudes though. Yeah, so claim with white dudes talking.
Well, whoever it is, but I mean, so she, it's kind of disgusting, but she hasn't really done anything for black men to say that we owe her anything, But I mean, basically, she had a plan, to do whatever it was in her best years and find somebody, on the 11th hour. To pick up the trash and which she could do, believe it or not, she could do, but she wants somebody of higher value than the men are available to her. She's upset at that, so she's taking it out on the plurality of black men is what she really wants to do.
I find it funny that she started her campaign back up right around the same time that Shahrazad Ali started trending again.
Good point. And somebody sent me the email on Shahrazad Ali. Yes, I will cover her I will cover her.
It's like a brand new video of her, or it's like one more
Yeah,
classic?
I think it's a new one. So yeah, I thought it was an old one,
that
but
up.
people are saying that she has new stuff coming out. So I'm gonna do that.
I wish she had a channel too. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, no, she needs to basically they need more pick me talk. But generally speaking, like once a woman, even a would-be pick me, once a woman stays on the shelf for a certain amount of time, you know, they become Cynthia G adjacent. You know, they don't want to blame themselves because it's a horrible thing to blame yourself for.
You see my question?
Yeah, I see something that's there now. It's a horrible thing to blame themselves for, so they try to blame black men like everybody else. No, it's two completely different types of messed up, you know. But yeah, one go for it.
If she do,
Okay.
I don't even think Derek Jackson could even save this woman with his own words of pandering and shit. She's beyond that. Yeah, too far. Like, oh man.
She's upset that her life plan did not come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really mostly, I mean, from what I could tell about her, it's mostly her fault. And somebody said in the chat room that that she claimed that she turned down several, you know, men or, you know, proposals or what have you. So, you know, it is your fault. Now you don't want to hold that, so you just
I wouldn't say mostly. I say all her fault.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. So you go into this whole blame routine that's it's not helping your cause.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so somebody says she's 36 and gonna be 37. I think she's older than that because, you know, once again, she's, how can I say, I think she's older than that because that was a while ago. I think that was before I even had a channel when she announced her pregnancy.
Hey, dig this though. You said something that was kind of golden. Maybe that's part of the diagnosis with most of these chicks though, is that the reason why they're so mad and shit like that and evil and angry is because they are regretting their choices.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, you know, the only difference between black men and black women who do that is, or excuse me, black women and other women who do this is that black women can blame the men, where white women are forced to blame themselves for it. I mean, some of them blame them. That's where feminism comes from. But generally speaking, they blame themselves. And which
Yeah.
is why they avoid it more. Which
So
is
yeah.
why, you know,
So
like,
so we can write that off as a total feminine trait. So any man doing that shit, you're a damn male feminist.
well, men don't have a biological clock, so they're less prone to doing that. You know, like they can't really say, "Oh, I'm 40." You know, I mean, which is bad. I'm over 40. You know, which is bad. To be, you know, 40 and childless if your goal is to have a family. However, it's not the end all be all. I would feel a lot worse if I had a biological clock that has been punched by now.
I'm just wondering why these dudes are just advocating for these females to be in like the fucked up ways that there are now. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like
only two.
for when you know for when it should be a thing where all men should be looking at that these females plain and simple are effed up and, and that they need help, and you know what I mean, and seeing the them, hey, because my men are saying fuck this, f this, we're going overseas, you know what I mean? So
Funny.
and cats are trying to get their passports together and all that, you know, do what they gotta do, you know, stacking up their money or whatever, you know,
Right.
hey, so. So shit, you know what I mean? You would think, but damn it, man, like I'm like, why are you advocating for this? Like for this effed up behavior. Like, what's wrong with you as a man? Like,
It's
why?
so funny
Well,
though.
many of them do it for feminine validation. You
Yeah.
know, like some guys. Keep in mind. Okay, so women keep a log, so to speak, or a reserve That's a better word. They keep a reserve of unsexed men around. These are the guys that are interested in them, not necessarily friend zoned, but they know that these are guys that women aren't really interested in like that.
Obsessed with female adoration.
Yeah. So what's happening is these are the guys that they get with when they can't get the guy they want. When they come to a certain, these are the guys that guarantees that they won't be alone. Okay, perfect example. There was a movie out called My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts, and it was kind of introducing Cameron Diaz at the time. And there was a guy there, and he had a deal with Julia Roberts. And this deal was if we both reach 35 and we're still single, we'll marry each other. So he essentially was her reserve guy. And the problem is that he found Cameron Diaz. So what does she do? She tries to break them up. Same thing, same mindset is going into play. These women have reserve guys, but when the reserve guys fail, she tries to break it up. So basically, the guys, whoever Cynthia G had on reserve, they're not feeling her like that, or they found women of their own, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She don't like that. She don't like that she lost her reserve. And she also don't like that, more and more of would-be reserve guys are just traveling out or, just dating out. She doesn't like that. They're losing the reserve guys.
You just said the same thing I'll be saying too.
I see what you're saying. Oh shit.
Like I said, think of a woman throughout between the ages of 16 and 40, and they haven't been married yet. They at least chase the guys that they actually sexually desire, the one to be wifed, that they want to be wifed up by, is at 20 to 30%. And someone becomes single mothers, that's actually at 17% of the men that actually ain't shit do.
Hey, well,
the other 80, 70% of men, like the game changer said, those are guys that they looked over. They friend zone, they wasn't sexually attracted to them, they don't want them talking to them, but they make them their
motherfuckers
choice
are leaving.
Exactly, they make them their choice Z. And then when the percentage of those choice Z guys wind up building themselves and making themselves attracted to the woman that they want in a different way, those girls that that made them their choice Z look at them like, yo, I'm not your choice Z. I'm someone else's choice A. I don't need you no more. So now they want to say all men ain't shit. It's like the 80-20 rule, flip back on them. 20% of guys that they chase, 80% they look over, but then half of that 80%, don't want them. So now they want to say 100 guys, 100% of guys ain't shit now.
And now they doing, and now she's definitely more making videos because damn it, because if you think just the high value so called quote high value dudes, you know what I mean, don't want her. What makes you think the 9 to 5 Joe that wants a bit? Exactly. You know,
depend on low money he's making.
So she's definitely gonna be liking and making videos and shit like that.
Oh yeah, yo. The type of guy I can see one of her is probably some Pookie Ray that just got out of jail, desperate for some sex.
Yeah, they mad. They gonna be mad at motherfucker, because nobody want no used badge and all that, man. Hey, and you know what? And that's speaking, I don't care. Like, and Cindy, she probably mad up because this is probably her too. Like, when Jessica X, you know what I mean? Hey, shout out to her. You know what I mean? Hey, she speaks some facts, man, on a lot of shit though. But this one I kind of still gotta disagree with her on. Like, after a woman and screw like half the nation, bro. Like, her pink sleeve is not gonna be the same as it was like if she, when she was around like her first 5-10 partner. And we got to think too how many times she's getting screwed by each partner. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, no.
That's definitely fact on that part.
And to talk about it like, and say like in this OBYG and shit, you know what I mean? Like, in this sense, like, oh, because a woman is able to have a baby, her her stuff, retracts and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, I understand. No, but come on, man. Like, if this chick just got done like having a dude, like for example, like a 14-incher, bro. You know what I mean? And she come to you, who's a 9 or 10, and you've been able to pleasure your past females and shit like that, that you had before her. You know what I mean? You made them cream and all that. But you get to this chick, and she's all worn, ran through and all that. You know what I mean? And it's like,
But
damn,
you
what the
gotta,
fuck? Like,
realize it's
come on, man.
mostly the psychological part of it. That's
Well,
why she's been so
agree,
random in the
but
way.
Mel, let Ray finish real quick.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, I feel that a woman with a body count of, say, like 10, 15 is way better than a chick who's like at 100, 200, 300.
Yeah, that's I said. It's the psychological part of it and stuff. That's what the main thing is. When she's been ran through and been degraded and all that shit, and in some cases, they say that girl was sexual abused when she was younger, and that's gonna play a part of her sex life also too.
Shit stretched out from here to Mars.
Exactly.
I'm good.
Yeah,
It's not just the
that
stretch
is
out part of her physical, but her mental and stuff.
that is a
And,
good
and,
that
and,
is a good point though.
and that's probably why she mad, Cynthia G.
Well, no, I mean, Mel brings up a good point. Like, I mean, even if a woman's, elasticity doesn't wear out, even outside of that, there is psychological damage that comes with,
Exactly.
having that much baggage.
Yes,
Let's say the
man.
way you having sex with her, she wants to be degraded. She don't want to be make love. She wants to be degraded, like choked, that stuff aggressively.
But that's not a sign of like damage. That's just something a lot of women want. Even if
I
they're
mean, they want, but like there's some degree of levels of that also too. Like it's like
And
And
I heard about
if you
too.
ever see our porn stars when they tell their backstory, most of all them all is going to say I was sexually abused when I was younger, blah blah blah. Same thing, and you see all the degrading acts that they do. I mean, yeah, there's some degrading levels that stream to others, but that's what they get off on because it's based on the trauma.
And I heard too, taking on so many men too caused her to thus be more masculine because of all those men that's been through her.
Exactly. She put all these emotions on these type of dudes that she wants to get wiped up by, but it backfires. So all that builds up like crazy. And now her mating choice is so messed up. Like, yo, you can't even tell who's the actual good guy or actual bad guy.
So, Archer, hadn't heard from you yet. What's on your mind, bro?
How's it going, Game Changer?
Pretty good.
Excuse the background. I'm at work right now. Cynthia G came up. I had to jump on the panel, bro. Like this woman. I didn't hear what her video. I kind of just jumped in about 20 minutes ago, but I pretty much know what Cynthia G was saying. Black men ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty. Don't do that. Stay away from black men. And I just find it funny, bro. Like. Her rhetoric has not changed in the last 5 years. She's been saying the same shit forever, but yet she went and got pregnant, and she's telling black women to stay away from black men, but she's doing the opposite. Like, practice what you preach, like for real. And then it's I don't even know what to say. You know what? Skip me. I don't even know what to say. I'm mind boggled that she even has anything to say about black men, given her track record. Given the fact that black women haven't done anything, and her grandstanding about black women's accomplishments, you have no ground to stand on, Cynthia G. Like, to even say anything about us.
Well, I mean, before, and this is why I brought her up, before she was trying to convince black men to take them at a deficit, meaning, you should improve yourself to take us, our unimproved version of ourselves. That's what she was getting at. And that's what she was saying Dusty this, beta male that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But she was still saying you should still get with black women. That's why she was poo-poo every time.
Didn't Kevin Samuels roasted her?
Maybe.
No.
But Kevin Samuels rarely roast anybody. I don't think he did.
Kevin Samuels never went at Cynthia G. Angry Man roasted her though.
Oh, okay.
I remember Tyrese Sheed, roasted her hard too. So
Angry Man demolished her. She's afraid to go. She never. I don't think she's ever talked to Obsidian. She ran from Obsidian a couple of times. Like literally, as soon as Obsidian got on the panel, she was gone.
Oh! Obsidian got in her ass, boy. I know.
Yeah, but
the only time I seen Sing G was on a panel with with guys was like 2-3 years ago was on O'Shea. When he had his Rumble that he always had, and I know that's the only time I see Sister G was on the panel with many guys. Still talking
No.
that rhetoric she was, but
No. Cynthia G was only on that panel with O'Shea because at the time O'Shea was cool with the B1 network. And
okay,
so
yeah,
Cynthia G had a lot of backup. She had Twin and she had Taz on that panel too. And it was fantastic. Twin, Taz. I think Mr. Research was up there. I think you might even went up there, Game Changer. But Cynthia G rarely comes over here without backup, without her minions. She will never come without her minions. I think Angry Man's the only one that got her without her minions, and he demolished her.
Who were her minions, or is this some randoms, or?
No, Taz, Twin, Rude, not randoms, but they're definitely minions. They ain't important either. She just did a video with Taz about she was basically Taz was trying to defend black men using white supremacy as a defense against black men, and she was saying white supremacy is no excuse and black men are just trash. And Taz is the wrong person. Taz is part of like pro-black simp nation. Like he's the wrong person to have defending the honor of black men.
Oh yeah, I remember him. I remember all the conversations he had with motherfuckers, including Fantastic and all. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the wrong. He's a simp beyond simp. But yeah, Cynthia G pretty much. She's only relevant because the women care and women in her cohort, like the overweight mid 30 women who get cheated on all the fucking time, who nobody wants to be with. Those are the women that subscribe to Cynthia G. The same type of women Platinum says he be fucking on. You know, the fat women that get cheated on. So it's ridiculous to even take her at face value. And black women, since they have this hive mind, we have to attack that message, because if you let that message get past, it will grow amongst younger black women. It will grow. Black women,
which serves why we need to keep on having these damn like conversations and stuff like that, instead of just keeping what we know and then being like, okay, we already know what's up and all that stuff. Okay, but you know what I mean? It goes into where like, you know, I'm talking about them cats that want to complain about us talking about issues like this and declare it as like, oh, that we are bitching and complaining and all that, for when really that's not the case. You know what I mean? We just keep rehashing these issues, you know what I mean, putting them out there, you know what I mean, so brothers can be aware, you know what I mean, and stay away from the bullshit.
The reason we have to talk about it is because if we don't, we have stereotypes that were only probably even maybe had a fraction of truth in it back in the 90s, still being talked about as if they're 100% true today, 30 years later. That's the reason why we got to keep talking. That's the reason why we got to not let this shit slide. Because if you listen to a lot of black women talk about black men, you would still think we're living in the crack era. You would still think there's crack being sold on the street, and you know, Tupac just came out with his first album. Like, they don't move forward with their talking points. They don't understand times change. The women just keep the same narrative about black men. They push the same old Reaganomics age narrative harder than white people do. Like, they view us from the viewpoint of the 1980s more than white people do. And the
funny thing about it is also too, man, like you got some young girls now, this day and age now, the younger woman that's trying to break out of the cycle of the previous generation. And now we got to bring those talking points back though. Sister, you can't listen to the older generation because you see what damage they did to themselves. We don't want that for you. You got hope.
Exactly. They're coming from a different spot. They're coming from, I am 36 and, I have very few eggs left for a man. And it's not likely that a doctor is going to come up and have a baby with me by the time I'm 40. So, like, they're coming from that standpoint. But when you're younger, hotter, sexier, childless, you don't have those type of problems.
Well, Cynthia G and women like her need to put up, for example, why as a black woman you should get married at a young age. The hot girl summer 20s, junior 20s, looking for your hot girl summer. That's the wrong thing to do. Like Kevin Samuel says, the danger zone, you will end up like Cynthia G if you don't take that shit seriously.
True.
Mhm.
I mean, most women in America get married later than women in any other place in the world. The average woman in America gets married at 28 years old. That's like the average white, Asian, all that shit. The average black American woman gets married in her mid 30s, if she ever gets married. So this is a very serious thing where they need to look at her as an example. This is an example of who you should not be like. And it's not the men's fault she's this way. She self-proclaimed had a few marriage proposals in her 20s. But like most black women, she turns them down because the man wasn't superhero enough. She had the Hulk or Batman propose to her, and her ass was looking for Superman or Thor. Like, bitch, you can't get every damn Avenger. Like, you're lucky to get one. But you're gonna turn them all goddamn down because it's not the Avenger you wanted. You think you can do it better. You know,
Archie, I'm trying to clean up. I forgot to tell you, I'm trying to clean up. So easy on the swear, bro.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry about that.
Don't trip.
Can't even say my name then because I ain't snit.
Yeah. We know.
Nah, it ain't just like, you know, it ain't because of this the Avenger they wanted. Nah, they want Ultraman. Shit. They
want Superman.
But I'm saying they keep turning down all these proposals, and I was surprised when Cynthia G told her panel that she got proposed to and she turned them down.
Well, like, I'm willing to bet anything that she tried to go back to these guys. That she assumed that these guys were waiting and they weren't, and that caused greater frustration because she's more frustrated now than she was before.
They're horrible gamblers. If you ever went to a casino, you know when to take your winnings and take all your chips and leave. Black women just think they're gonna keep winning, and when the tables turn, now they're all mad. Now they're talking about all casinos are bad. Casinos ain't snit. You know, well you were a couple years ago in your 20s, you were up 1,000 chips. Now you're down 1,000 and you're mad at the casino. No, rule number one is leave when you're ahead. That's rule number one. Take the proposal when you got the offer. I mean, what was that? Even what was that game? Where they used to spin the wheel and do you want to spin it again or
Roulette.
do you want to? Yeah, no. The game. No, the game. The talk show game.
Oh, Wheel of Fortune.
Price is Right.
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune.
You remember in those games they let them say, "Do you want to take the car or do you want to go for the house or the $1 million?" And they're like, you know, like these chicks didn't know where to stop.
Yeah,
it's just like what Kevin Samuel said, man. Like, you know, they talk about their damn their proposals as if it's like trophies or some shit.
Well, it's not meant. It's not meant to be. We're not bringing up their proposals to say that they're a prize they got proposed to. We're bringing up the proposals to make the point that black men are out here seeking black women. Black men are out here trying to do right by black women. Black women are the ones who are making the decision to not engage in family, to not pursue family, and not be traditional.
You know, it's so funny that we saying this because
that's facts though.
I was on Clubhouse last night with this club the situation it was called Situationships. They had the actor Dante Warfield. If y'all not familiar with him, he was the dude that played Robert, Vanessa's boyfriend on the Cosby Show.
Oh yeah.
And you know,
wait. Elvin.
No, it's Robert. But Vanessa's boyfriend. Elvin was Sandra's husband.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Robert. Okay, my bad.
The little fro. Yeah. But no, he's married to Sally Richardson. Yeah, the actress that's on Low Down Dirty Shame. Yeah, everything. But you know, he had this book called "There's difference between males and men," and his talking points on that panel because you know he's the monitor on that panel last night, and the way those women gravitated towards him, it's like I felt like Obsidian when he went to that convention when there was Jared Jackson and those average chicks was gravitating towards him. He said a lot of feminine talking points like crazy. And there was only one guy that actually challenged his views and everything. Like, he didn't go hardcore about it because I wanted to get on and talk like hardcore about it. I wasn't able to, but only one guy has actually challenged his views and everything. And them females, when Dante was talking his point, it made it seem like it's gravitating towards the women and everything, some equal 50-50 BS and everything. Them females like, yes, preach on, brother, preach, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, this is so cringeworthy, like crazy. I'm like, yo, first of all, man, mostly our women, y'all choose like 30% of the men that y'all desire Those are the males that he's talking about. He making it seem like the males are the 80% and the men are the 30%. No, it's the other way around. And that's the big main problem and stuff. The men that they desire, they want to wife them up and stuff like that. The men that they ignore want to wife you up.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
And that has worked for them in the past. It's not working as much as they would like now because men are dating interracially, one. And two, they are dating internationally. And three, they're just seeing their worth. So I was going to say something, but I want to get Kevin in here first. So Kevin, what's on your mind, brother? You muted.
I just got your notification. So I just saw the title. The title is about women hitting the wall, correct?
Correct, yes. Particularly Cynthia G, because her change in behavior as time progresses really shows, which is really consistent with the person that's hitting the wall.
So I don't really know too much about Cynthia G. I know that she is a colorist, correct?
No, Cynthia G isn't a colorist. Cynthia G is she kind of like bash black men verbally, that is, and say that we're cowardly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she's a woman who's getting up there in years, who is choosing to discourage younger women from dating black men. That way she'll have more available to herself.
Well, the thing of the matter is that, whether she discourages black women from dating black men is neither here nor there. The tragedy of what Cynthia G is doing, pertaining to what you just said, is that Cynthia G represents most, and I hate to say this, and I don't have any stats to back it up. I can only go by my opinions, but she really represents a lot of African American thinking in terms of what women think. So a lot of women are basically saying now they're trying to push this divestment thing. And they're trying to really push it hardcore. A lot of women come to my channel and they try to push this divestment thing who are older now. Now, these are these tend to be women who have hit the wall, women who have been unsuccessful in relationships with black men. So now, to attack black men, they're saying, well, Kevin, I think that black women should divest. And I say, well, good luck with that, because again, at the end of the day, the elite white men of status, they can fuck all the black women they want, but generally speaking, it is not cool within their culture, even to this day, to be with a black woman. So a lot of times these black women who are swirling, they get the bottom of the barrel white men. A lot of times, a lot of times we say that they don't get the brads, they get the lower shelf brads. And so those lower shelf brads, are you familiar with the case with the football player and his daughter?
Yeah.
So like 2 weeks ago,
not his daughter, but
his daughter was killed by her husband. But Al Toon played for the Jets, but his daughter, was swirling, married a white guy, killed her. And there's so many cases of these happening. And not to say that it doesn't happen on vice versa per se, but the fact of the matter is that they're thinking that the grass will be greener on the other side because of failures that they have with black men. But truth be told, generally speaking, it's the same thing, if not even worse, in most cases. So if Cynthia G is telling younger black women to date white men, she's really leading them down a path of destruction. Because real talk, let me ask you guys a question. Now, you're in the West Coast, Game Changer. How many old black women do you see with old white men?
Well, I don't see that too often.
Yeah, you don't see it too often because first of all, divorce.
I do see younger ones, but I don't see older ones. You're right.
Right, because generally speaking, white men don't. I mean, again, I know couples that are together to this day, but generally speaking, white men don't age out with black women. They just don't, for some reason. I primarily don't see that in interracial relationships. They will marry young, but they will divorce very young as well. And I don't see it a lot. And of course, with the divorce rates being high anyway, there's going to be a high probability of getting divorced anyway. But in terms of what Cynthia G is doing, she's really, if she's doing this, she's really destroying black women by giving them that type of advice.
Agreed.
In my opinion, I'm just talking. I'm just rambling.
Well, basically, she's eliminating an option for them. Like if she was to say, open up your options and date all races of men, I'll be perfectly fine with that. But she's saying close the option, your greatest option, really, and only date. That's what divesting is. It's like date anybody but a black man. Mm-hmm. And, once again, the reason that they do that is to eliminate other women as competition. I mean, so put it like this: if Cynthia G didn't date the men that she talks about, then who does she date? So she has to be dating white men, black men, you know, Hispanic men, Asian men. She
Right.
has to be dating some men,
Right.
right? Which means that, but she's telling women, you know, she has all kind of negative things to say about black men, so don't date them. All kind of negative things to say about white men, so don't date them. All kind of negative things to say about any man. So she's essentially trying to convince all the other women not to date. So she'll be the only one to show up to the party.
Right.
And all the guys that get at her.
Yeah.
Like, that's her plan. I mean, but she's been doing it a while and it hasn't worked. What does work is a sandwich, but it might be too late for her on that.
Right. Yeah. Mel, I mean, you're about to say something, or
I don't want to tell anybody. I was, but you go. You continue.
Yeah, you know, the tragedy of hitting the wall, Game Changer, is it's almost like a feral creature, and that's with any race of women. Like, they become feral, like they become almost like they have rabies or something. Like, they go crazy, and you see this with a lot of you know, women who have hit the wall, particularly women who are way past the wall. Again, when I was in college, you know, I'm not gonna lie, the white girls they partied hard.
Oh yeah.
But about 22, 23, they got married, because in their culture, they're taught, listen, your ages are gonna diminish one day. You got to get married. And it's a part of their culture. Within the black culture, a lot of women don't want to, and men, we have to be accountable for that as well. We partake in the partying just as much as they do. And maybe we should have married or got married at young, but the tragedy that happens with a lot of black women is that they think that they're going to get better when they get older. And the tragedy is that that's not, you can't escape biology. About 24, 25, a black woman should be married, period, point blank. After that, it's just downhill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It's just downhill.
And it's a lie that the older single women is telling them. Mm-hmm. I mean, because for one, it's a lie that they tell themselves. It's a lie that they tell themselves that, it's nothing wrong with getting married at 45 or 50 or something like that. It's like, well, actually, right. It's definitely not preferred, but there's no guarantee. I would not be telling a 20-something-year-old. That's like telling somebody to graduate college at 45.
Exactly.
It's like, I mean, if it's your goal to do something that requires a degree, yes, it is better to do it at any age, if it's to become a doctor, but that's still something that's best done in your 20s.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's best done in your 20s.
Yeah. I mean, like, if it's something, there's a lot of workless degrees out there, but if it's something that you need to do, it's something that's best done in your 20s. So,
definitely.
To tell a 22-year-old woman, like, you got time, 40 is the new 20 or something like that. No. Just, do you feel like you're 40? I'm damn sure. I'm damn sure I feel like I'm 20.
Yeah. These hippos need to go to white school.
Well,
it's not about wife school, and I get what you're saying.
It is.
Well, I want to say one thing about college, and that is white girls, and I'm getting this from the guys' point of view because I have white friends in college. White women make it seem easy. Like, I'll be talking to a dude that's single and shit, and then next thing you know, and it'll be like, less than 2 years. Within 2 years, he's like, "Oh no, I'm just married this chick." Like, they all just meet him, like, and it's not even like they have to meet at special events. It's always like a club or a bar or something like that. And these dudes just be like head over heels and like ready to marry. His program, like, right quick. If he's Republican, she becomes Republican. If he's not feminist, I even had a white chick tell me, because she was dating my neighbor, and he wasn't in college. He worked in a gravel pit, right? I went to this nigga. He was kind of racist. Well, actually, he was, because I know from the crap he talk about, like, Asians and Mexicans. I know he talk about black people and black people not around, right? Went to his house one day and this girl was there. And I talked to her for a second. She said, "Well, I used to be against the whole taking the last name thing, but he wants it, so I'll take his name." Like they just get down with the program and they do it at a young age. They make it seem easy. I think Archer was next. Oh, okay. Kevin.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Go for it.
I just wanted to jump in here right quick and clear something up. I hate when we say that women do something and we have to qualify it by saying men do it too. I just want to make this clear. No beef with anybody on the panel, but black men, for the most part, are all for marriage. When a black like I said earlier, black men, we're traditional to a fault. To the point where I haven't met a black man that hasn't met a woman he wouldn't wife up. Most black men get head over heels when they meet the woman they like. So let's not go with the narrative that these black women are waiting till they're old to get married and the black men are participating in it. Black men are not participating in it. Black men are proposing to black women left and right. Black women are turning those proposals down.
True. Sir, I got it.
Those are facts, though.
That's a fact. Remember, we
those are facts, though.
To marriage and commitment. They choose who to have sex with. That's the big whole thing. They choose their sex partners. We choose our marriage partners. If we see a woman that's up to our standards, we're marrying her in 3 months. That's how quick
I'm not saying that black men don't. I'm just saying that because the white women know how to play the game, so to speak. You know, that's how they get married at 22, 25.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's two narratives out there that keeps getting flied. Black men are participating in this hookup culture, which they're really not. Black men, if they find a woman they really like, they will commit to her. It's the black women that don't. You can't be in a relationship with a black woman for more than a year without her breaking up with you. And black men leave the families. Like, they don't. Women, if you actually look at the truth, women are the ones breaking up the families most of the time. You ask any baby mama who left who, she'll tell you why she left her baby daddy, not the other way around. So let's not stop with this we're participating in the bullshit. These women don't value marriage. Black women value freedom above everything else.
Okay. Right quick. Let me just I appreciate your patience, Kevin. But I gotta address Kia. Kia do. She says, please guide me to the men that want a wife. His name is Complex Design. Email me and I will give you his information. His name is Complex Design. You can find him on the Black Brain Trust. He is a widower. He has a daughter. He's high earning and responsible and intelligent. So yeah.
Can I comment on that too?
In fact, Kia, because right quick, because you sound like this chick that used to come. If you are in Northern California, then I will find you some penis. How about that? I challenge you. I'll find the penis for you. You know,
hold
on, right quick. You get to list 3 stipulations, just 3. Whether it's dark skin, whether it's fraternity, whether it's 6-pack or 6 figures or something, you can only list 3. You get to list 3 criteria, and I bet you I'll find you some penis. I bet you. I want 3 pictures. I want 1 sexy, 1 classy, 1 nerdy. I want 3 pictures of you, and I will set up a Tinder profile right now, and I bet you I'll find you some penis.
I hope you're going to charge a game changer. This is a service you should start.
No, I just want to dispel this whole, I can't find it because it's ridiculous. Y'all be having like Tinder DMs like full and shit. I don't even know what you look like. But I bet you one thing, no matter what, your DMs are full.
I gotta listen. As red pilled as I am, and hopefully I'm not cutting anybody off. As red pilled as I am, I have my own platform as well. I have to disagree with the brother. He just dropped off the panel. Arthur. Yeah. I gotta disagree with him. Black men of yesteryear, like our grandfathers, great grandfathers, etc. Yes, they may have wanted to marry and married the woman that they had been with, etc. Because the black man is divine by nature, because we're divine by the universe, because we have this divine spirit to breed and be with multiple women. And guys, again, your opinions are your opinions, your experiences are your experiences. From what I experienced from going to college, from what I experienced being an alpha, I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. What I can tell you is this. A lot of black men who are young, who are 23, 24, they ain't trying to marry the 3 and 4 women that they're fucking. Again, a lot of people I know got married. But a lot of black men are not like white men. We participate in the same thing with black women. We just want to frolic around and see what we can. We want to get the best. A lot of black men want to get the best. Truth be told, a lot of black men do settle. Let's be honest. A lot of black men settle with the fat wife, the thick wife, the 3s and the 4s. I myself, I have fucked a lot of women in my life, believe it or not, despite the fact that I'm hideous.
Mm-hmm.
I have fucked a lot of bitches in my life. And what I can tell you is this. I have never wanted to marry any of them. And I fucked ones to, sixes. I've never fucked anything over than that. Maybe like a 7 here and there. But I've never wanted to marry anyone because in my brain, I'm thinking, you know what? I know I can get a woman who looks like a 20-year-old Naomi Campbell. And I'm not saying a lot of men are like me, but what I am saying is I think a large proportion of black men, particularly black American men, think the way that I do. I think a lot of black men don't want to get married. Now, again, I could be wrong, and you guys could be absolutely right. But again, I've never seen it like that. What say you, sir?
The thing is that you do. Okay, so Kevin, you do want to get married. Am I right?
Only if she's hot.
No. I'm not talking about like all the other shit. I'm not talking about like the divorce laws and all that shit. Generally speaking, you want what your grandfather had in marriage.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's what we're saying. So, and you're saying that you haven't found a woman that qualifies.
Yes.
However, these women do qualify for some other guys, just not you. And that's what we're saying. Black women white women make it easy because the white guys I'm talking about, these are not like fucking 6-pack Brad Pitt niggas. They're not. These are just regular. Like I said, dude was a gravel pit dude. That randomly said ill stuff about Mexicans. Like this was not like a top tier dude. But she was prettier than he was handsome. And that's really what all guys wanted. She treated him right. And she wasn't on some, I'm not going to change my last name for anybody type stuff, like, so they're willing to give you a deal that you can't refuse.
Right.
And that's what's lacking. So it's not a matter of willingness. It's just a matter of willingness with your current mating pool.
Also too, man,
right quick, man, because I know you've been waiting. So now's the time I want to point out that so Easter, I'm over my homie's house, and he was telling me that I know one person that recently moved to the South with some penis, right? When I say move to the South with some penis, so there's an exodus going here, and good riddance. There's like a herd of fat ass chicks here that travel to the South looking to settle down. They're anywhere between like 40 and 60. And they're like, oh, y'all too shallow. We're gonna go. Like, good riddance. Just go. So they go to the South to find like a guy with more traditional values and really don't mind a quote unquote thicker woman. They're doing this in herds. I talked to my partner. He said 5 of his cousins did that, and he showed me a picture. They were all big. I was cracking up. Like, wow, y'all just like go to the South to like find penis like that, like it's Colombia or some crap. Like, are you kidding me? But they actually do that. Very weird, but I mean, it does show that later in life they look for guys that they probably weren't considering before that want marriage values. It's just that they avoid guys like yourself with standards because they quite frankly don't meet them any longer. I'm gonna go to Mel right quick. Mel.
Also too, man, like a lot of young guys, we was all young also too. We did want to get married at a point. It's a different factors. We visualized the marriage like our grandparents was and everything, perfect and everything. Or another factor is also too, we want the marriage like those like our African kings and stuff like that. Remember, you got the queen, but you has multiple concubines and stuff. So that's like the main 2 marriages we actually see. Cause let it be that chick that whatever how she do it for you, you make her your main chick and stuff. Means you committing to her, your form of commitment. And even if he has multiple chicks, he doesn't want his main chick to screw around like he is and stuff. So some way we still value commitment and way more even at younger age also too and everything. What's happening this day and age, guys are starting to see different points of view and understanding because a lot of guys speaking up now. We starting to build more of our media to express our truth and stuff like that. It may seem like now more guys ain't trying to get married, but technically, let it be that chick that's like a unicorn type, as they would say. Yeah, he'll do do some type of commitment towards her and stuff like that. And everything.
I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm finished.
So Kia says some men like plus size women.
Only poor men. Only poor men.
Yeah, exactly. Kia,
Only
some
poor
women,
men.
some women like homeless men. Should I be
Yeah.
homeless?
Only
Like,
poor
should I be homeless because some women like it or feel it's hot? Like some women like midgets. Should I have like a midget surgery because somebody thinks it's hot? Like, the point is that put it like this, Kia. And I don't know if you're big or not, but if you are, lose the weight. And here's why: because there are far more big chicks than there are men who are interested in big women. Far more. So you are going to have to get in line behind a herd of big chicks and all chasing the 3 Georgia dudes that want them. Why do you think that these chicks are leaving? My brother told me you have 5 fat cousins that went to Georgia, or not Georgia, but just went to the South. They went to like various different parts of the South. Just the fact that they have to travel to find these dudes mean that they're of not in large quantity, And these are probably not their first choice. Like the guys, that is. I don't know what their type is. I don't. Okay, so you're not a big. Well, don't become one, thinking that somebody's gonna like that crap. Because if you think things is hard now for you in New York, and I can imagine it is. If you think things are hard now in New York, try being a fat chick.
Oh, she's from New York?
Huh?
My town? Oh man.
Well, I don't know. If you find me dead in New York, know that I died somewhere else and was dragged there.
Yeah, I gotta let her know this, man.
I died in a plane crash flying over New York.
I gotta let her know this. If you do see some guys that with some big girls and they might seem like they might be in shape themselves, I guarantee for a fact they're having multiple affairs behind their big girlfriend or big wives behind their backs.
Nah, some of these guys are brainwashed to be with big chicks, and that's okay. But don't depend on it. Don't depend on these chitlin fed dudes to chase this whole big mama mammy stereotype fetish that they have. Right. Don't go for the fetish. Like, why do these ugly chicks be painting their feet? Why? Because they're hoping to find a fetish dude. Like, no, don't. Just be hotter. Be as hot as as you possibly can, and get me a sandwich. That's it. It seems easy to me.
Oh man.
Well, I don't hate New York, but I'm not gonna walk around the place. Y'all be putting on air conditioning. I swear, I fear that an air conditioner gonna fall on me. I think an air conditioner gonna fall on me. Y'all just put it in the window and slam the window on it. Everything is bad there.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Don't worry, bro.
That's funny shit though.
I'm serious. I see it. Like it's like I don't know why it's steam in the sewers. I don't know why homeless be burning garbage cans under a bridge. Like everything I see there is wrong. I don't know why y'all got ghosts and stuff. Like
California, man. Like they got the big homeless population.
Hey, Game Changer, can you highlight the comment of Pink Extra 305, please, for a minute?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the Pink, I don't even know these people on the panel, but so the problem starts with black males, with a large percent of y'all being suspect anyway. Just go and run to Zaddy and be a kept woman, since you project so much estrogen. A bunch of gay males. See, this is a problem within the community.
Hey.
So when men who are very
right quick, Kevin. We say G-hey for the algorithm.
Sorry. G-hey, sorry. Yeah. So I want to address this. See, as a fellow red pill content creator such as myself, I experience shaming language every day. Sorry about the algorithm. Every day. And what this person is trying to do is that they're trying to get a rouse out of, people on the panel. And what they do is, when very heterosexual black men have preferences and standards, what happens is that now we're gay. Now we're in the closet. That's shaming language. It's to make them feel good about themselves. But in actuality, I don't think anybody on the panel is gay or even in the closet.
G-hey, brother.
Oh, sorry. G-hey. Sorry. I'm sorry. So yeah, nobody is G-hey on the panel.
Yeah, you got me effed up with that shit.
But it's just shaming language at its finest. Because again, a lot of people don't like when black men have standards. Period. Point blank. So now we're G-hey. Exactly. Now go ahead.
No. I was just echoing, but no, this is a challenge of a man's right to have standards. I agree.
Exactly. Yep.
They
Exactly.
hate it when we have standards because standards is why they are fleeing to the South. Like
Right.
standards threaten their whole dynamic, which before was they kept the guys and reserve. It's threatening their reserve. Once that reserve gets standards, you know, they like, okay, I'm 36. I couldn't get the guy that I want. Let me just go to my reserve. And then come to find out that in the waiting period, the reserves got standards and he's not responding to the hey big head, you know, call anymore. Then that's when it becomes problematic. Then that's when the anger comes. Sigma.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, what's good with you, GC panelists and viewers? You know, just wanted to chime in a little bit. So when we're talking about this whole marriage thing in America, I'm always seeing how things get left out about reality. I think that with a lot of Americans, we want to hold on to the idea of what our grandparents had, what our parents may have had, but a lot of that was romanticized. And what's happened is that in 2021, do you understand that like the average male or female has more information at their fingertip about just any topic than ever in history? And what I think we have is an information overload, which is always a good thing, but unfortunately, people know more about outcomes and they can make like that cost benefit analysis on everything that they do in a way that they couldn't do 10, 20 years ago. So when we look at something like as simple as the average age of marriage in America, we have to understand that the average age of marriage for men is 33 years old now in the United States of America, right?
Okay.
And for females, it's 31 years old. Those numbers are important for two main reasons. When you look at like how sexual market value plays in a society, and then also how you're talking about the wall today and how women's sexual marketplace value starts to go down after a certain age, usually around 28 it starts. So that woman that's 40, rarely is she going to look like the woman that was 23, right? So when we look at the prime marriage age in America, we know that it's 25 years old to 35 years old. Once men get to 35, the chances of them ever getting married drops a lot, right? So between 35 and 40, so it's going up 25 to 28. That's where it kind of peaks at. That's the peak range. Then as the closer that men get to 35, the more it starts to dip. And once he hits 35, the chances of him getting married drops. Then once he hits 40s, it drops. So for men, their earnings start to go up though after 32 or so. When you look at the chart of the average earnings of American men, their earnings start to go up and then it peaks at age 50. So right when it's like this cross section around the age of 32, where a man is about to go on a total incline on average with his wages. So his market value to a lot of women is about to increase. Whereas at the same time, that 32-year-old woman is about to, on average, see a big drop in her desirability amongst men. So that's one of the problems that we run into is that the man that gets married between 25 and 35, he's looking for a younger woman. And what's happening is that a lot of these men
are looking for younger women.
All men are looking, I'm not focusing on all men because I want to focus on that prime marriage. We're talking about marriage, and that's 25 to 35. So what they do is going to determine where this society goes as far as marriage versus bachelorhood and bachelorettehood. So I'm saying that 25 to 35-year-old man, he's going to be looking for a woman that's in her mid-20s, early 20s. But what's happening is that because of the feminist programming and the engineering from the media, these women are believing that, well, because Game Changer has a chance to go sow his oats into the age of 35, and he still has his supply of women is going to increase until probably around the age of 50, right? So the women are being taught that they can do the exact same thing they see the men that their age are doing. And what happens when those women come off that cock carousel at 30, the reality is hitting them all in the face that no, you've been lied to. If you do exactly what the men are doing at your age, you're going to get left in Spencerhood after the age of 30 and definitely after the age of 40. And I think that's the wall that we're running into.
Anybody have a response to that? I mean, that's spot on to me. But yeah, I mean,
no, I don't disagree.
Yeah, there was one part that do you think that the statistics is weighed heavily by immigrants, you know, with traditional marriage values?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, they bring first of all, a lot of immigrants come from very traditional environments. So of course they bring their culture over here. Yeah. You said,
I think
of
so.
course.
And I think that if we took out the immigrants, because I've dated a lot of women that are immigrants, and I see the kind of family values that their parents have and that they put on them. So if you took out the immigrants, that age, the percentage of Americans that are native born, it would drop even more as far as those that are married, and the age would go up probably more as well. Because again, immigrants and poorer people, they tend to get married younger as well. So it's kind of a bad situation in America. It's because we've all received the same kind of programming from school, from the secular institutions the last 40 years or whatever. But the women are going to be punished in terms of the marriage part more than men, because men can vie for themselves in a high-tech society in a way that our parents couldn't do. Our father, they had to get in the office place to make their money, for example. They had to do more community-oriented things to succeed. Today, I was just talking to someone who told me that he's making like $100,000 off Bitcoin this last month. Okay? He just made $100,000 off Bitcoin.
That's what's up.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is not stuff that our parents were able to do easily, man. So the dynamics of what value marriage is just not the same as my father and my mother's generation. And so women are having to say to themselves, what do I bring to a relationship besides sex? And I'm sorry, but most women in 2021 are going to have a hard time answering the question. Two questions. What do I bring to the table besides sex? And two, what can I bring to the table besides that sex that you can't get on your own as a man in 2021? And I think that's what we're running
not
into.
A damn thing.
So,
yeah, that's what a lot of
what do y'all think of the fact that they are depending on a large percentage of the male population being thirsty?
That's a good question.
Because when you only have sex,
they riding that they riding that strong though.
I think it's good for
they hoping for that.
I think
you got to think about this also too, man. Women, I always say this, women are like Kryptonians and stuff. They yell the Kryptonian. We don't know where Kryptonians get their power source from the yellow sun.
And women, as long as you got these blue pill beta males sitting in China,
as long as they got those 80% dudes that simp over the way they are, they become so powerful like that. They get weak like the only 20% of dudes is they kryptonite and stuff.
Well, I think it's a good thing for them when they're under 25, and I think it ends up just really biting them in their behind once they cross over that age 30. It seems in America, because I mean, I'm telling you, bro, like you go on IG. I just came to the conclusion that we're in an age of transactional sex, because almost every woman has some kind of OnlyFans, Linktree. They even got this thing called Linktree now, where the women will set up an account where they'll have like their public face, then they'll have their private face, and then they'll have their sugar baby account all linked in with their IG. It's just an amazing thing. So it's like
Linktree, it's like different links.
And it's these
females even using that with their OnlyFans, their other websites.
But these aren't quote unquote your old school pros, right? These are women that work at Taco Bell. These are women that are in your office place, but they all have this portfolio of different kinds of tech that they use to market themselves in different ways with different faces. So many women are behind the scenes OnlyFans weekend warrior prostitutes now. And it's good when they're like, before 25, they get money, they get attention, they get free trips. But what's happening is that the men, once they come to the age of 30 and they're looking around for a man to marry, here's the problem that they run into when we go back to the age range again. Again, remember, men in America, once they hit 36, their chances of getting married drop because they're no longer as interested in the marriage at that point. So what happens, those women look around. Now, these older dudes, which is the more likely to want to marry a 30-year-old woman, he ain't really trying to get married like that. Now, he'll keep her around as a younger, sex buddy. But once he hits 36, his interest in marriage dips a lot. And if you're talking about like a 40-year-old dude who he might be looking at a 30-year-old woman like, I'd like to bang her from time to time. But by the time he hits 40, he has already built a life for himself. He's already had enough relationships that there's probably nothing that she can bring to the table that he's not seen. And that's what I think we're running into out here in 2021.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like I say, the reserve.
Yeah, those are facts.
They're losing their reserve men. They're losing their reserve men because, like King Sigma was saying, men are more informed. And it's that information. It's like, something, I'm 36. Yes, I was interested in you, when we both were, 25, say, but now I have more to lose. And now I am more aware of how I can lose it. So yeah, it's they're losing their reserve, and that's who they're trying to. They're basically just trying to replenish their reserve, and that is the amount of thirsty dudes that are married for pussy. Because let's face it, like if a woman is of a certain age, and by that I mean not necessarily fertile, then you likely are marrying to have a secure sexual source.
Yeah, I just ran into that situation. I had a really good sex partner, and she was 32, and I'm about to touch 35 this summer. But she's ready to get married, and she's very sexually desirable, man. She's hot. But me understanding the situation, I'm like, well, there's going to be a drop off coming for her in 2 or 3 years, and I understand the fact that she's interested in marriage now. But for me, I'm enjoying the sexual access, and we're sexually compatible. But long term, as a man, I'm looking out. And I'm like, I know if I married a woman that's around my age, I'm on the incline, bro. Like my earnings and everything is about to go through the roof over the next 10 to 15 years. For her, it's a win for her, but long term, it's not really as much a win for me. And I'm just speaking for myself, but I just know that a lot of men that are in their 30s now, with all this tech that we have, with all this information, brothers are readjusting to this environment. And they're gonna start seeing that, man, this whole world is open to me now. Once COVID is over, why would I weigh myself down and put an ankle on my, like a weight on myself that I don't need to carry when I can go out and live free as long as possible? Once you hit that age, like I said, 36 is that's the magic number for marriage in America, bro. And a lot of people don't talk about that. It's the age of 36 because again, the drop off for men wanting to get married, it starts to drop very rapidly after 35.
But also too, our point of views is different also too with marriage between men and women, even at ages. Over 36, we're not even focused on the love aspect like we was on in our 20s, like a woman is. Over 30, we're thinking more like, okay, I want the respect. Love come later. Just like Kevin Samuels said, love come later. And if I do marry you, it's going to be because of a legacy. I want to be a father and I want to pass my resources and everything to my children and stuff. Right. And I'm at the age now that I have more leverage to do that.
Yeah, I have noticed that men's standards, black men's standards, are increasing as time passes.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of new because I look at my father's generation and it was more like, okay, I got to get married because my father married twice, and you could tell that he was eager to do so. The second time. So but that dynamic seems to be changing. Like, it's like, okay, I'm actually worth more now than I was when I worked at Burger King, so I'm going to ask for more. And when I get that, hey, big head call, like Sigma did, it's like, look, you're a great sexual partner, but, we probably wouldn't be compatible long term.
Yeah, I'm knocking it out. I'm gonna knock it out. If she's 30, 32, and she's doing her shit tight, I'm knocking it out. But we just have to be realistic in terms of somebody got a lot of wind. Whoa. Mute up.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
All that wind, damn.
Yeah, this man is in Chicago, like on the train.
Wizard of Oz, Dorothy in this month. Yeah, man. So I think we just have so much information now that our parents didn't have, bro. Like even when I talk to my older relatives, I would talk to them about like trips that I want to take after COVID, right? And you can see like the sparkle in like my uncle's eyes and these guys because they know that if they were, to go back 25 years into the past, they would want to be able to say, hey, I'm going to meet a lot of other people over here in Rio this week. Next month, I'm planning on going to Europe. This is becoming a normalized thing amongst black men now. That they understand that they are citizens of the world. No other generation of black men had this ability to say that because even the black men that were traveling the last 100 years, they were mostly soldiers. We were mostly all stuck in a certain vortex of thinking that America is the only place to be, it's the best place to be. But now we understand that even if you just get your money in America, a lot of black men are saying that it may still be financially the biggest free market, but then there's other better sexual marketplaces that I wouldn't want to live there maybe, but the sexual marketplace and my value in it puts me at the very apex of it. So I can play both sides of the game now. I just think that's what's changing with this generation.
Oh yeah, like I said,
Yo,
like
yo,
but me, like I said, yo, I'm in my 40s now. I'm like 40 years old. My first wife is gonna be Latina, and most likely it will be overseas. I ain't marrying no Americanized Latin woman over here and everything. If I do, she gotta be some. I ain't gonna front.
And
My
what age
stand's
are
a
you
black
looking
woman.
for?
yo.
Yeah, she gonna be young, like be between at least 25 to 30.
See what I'm saying? See what he just said. Now this brother said
Exactly.
he's about to his 40th birthday. He
Well, I'm
just
40
said
right
it.
now, so yeah. But like
Okay,
I
he's
said,
40
mostly
now.
for procreation, and that's femininity also too. I could breed them, I could breed her for my standards at those ages. Because we all know when a woman reaches her 30s and stuff like that, that's done. You can't even teach her how to can't even teach her what your standards are as a woman and everything. They already know what they are. So they're like, just like you say, you got a 32-year-old that you're smashing. Yeah, she already knows she's the fuck buddy.
I gotta disagree with Danny. It's not that I don't want to get married. I heard the brother say that earlier when I just chimed in, and he was saying that most brothers don't. I don't agree that most brothers don't want to get married. I think that most brothers have been socialized in an environment to not see marriage as much different than having a friends with benefit or a regular casual sex partner, because it's not that men don't want to get married. The incentive to get married is not there because you can get everything. Your grandma told you, come on now. Grandma told you if you can get the milk for free, why buy the cow? Black women used to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's generation was the last ones that got lucky. They got lucky that they could find that stepfather clean up man. But now what's happening that the men that are under 45 specifically, especially under 35, they're getting everything sexually that men used to only get through marrying a woman. So
I disagree with that. I think that men don't really marry for sex, but I do think that that's all modern women have to offer. So you know they can fall into that logic. But my grandpa didn't marry grandma for sex. I mean, I'm sure he was hitting for that, and
maybe,
I mean, I think that's just that women remain chaste.
Maybe GC. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, bro, man. Can I raise my hand?
It was a much bigger stigma for your grandfather to be. That shit was unacceptable. Like, at least in my family, like my grandfather, they couldn't just lay up with a broad on no common law thing and it be just an accepted thing by the other, by that woman's family. What I'm saying is that
they married at 17, Stigma. But what I'm saying is that grandma had much more benefits to grandpa than her sexual function. That's why the marriage sustained past
that's true too.
Her breeding years. Because modern women don't have any other value, like they don't even cook or get me a sandwich.
Hey,
their only value is sex. Like that's all you have. So I mean,
and then you got to realize also
right quick, man. So given that dynamic, I could see why like they're giving away the milk for free. But But
these women got competition because like are you guys using any meal services right now in 2021?
Yeah,
I just look at my food.
Hold on. I was saying that even though like a lot of those roles have been removed, at this point, now it's just mutual respect. And this the one thing. Like, dude, I just had 3 females over for the past 3 days. I asked, what are your thoughts on mutual respect? Mm-hmm. And you know what I got?
What's that?
That I'm just gonna hit again. It was like, I'm not sure if I want to be with you. I don't even know if I want to be with anybody like you.
That's what the female told you?
Well, what'd you say, bro?
That's what the female told you?
Yeah, she was confused.
You're working, Stucco. Well, right quick. Hey, Lion, come back on and I'll give you the mic. My bad, man. I overlooked you for a long time, so my bad on that. You remained quiet there, and the conversation took off. So my bad on that. But yeah, come back on, Lion, and you got the mic. Go ahead, Stucco. You're Borgen.
Come on.
You sound like that Amazon computer right now, bro.
Yeah, Stucco, you're Borgen.
Well, I got AT&T business out here in Cleveland.
All right. While you get that together, nah, it's still pretty bad, bro.
Yeah, I was saying about the meal service, something that I got into during COVID, man. I get like these meals from this place called Freshly. You guys ever heard of that? And they send me like 12 meals a week. And that's what I was pointing to, is that when you talking about how grandma could cook and all that, that's something that now it's like it's cheap to get it all sent to you with the food. So the woman got to really be, it got to be a compatibility that she's bringing to the table, a level of cooperation and femininity.
Yeah, most women don't cook these days. You ever see
I
a
agree.
female IG page how many times she be at restaurants, but yet none of them home cooked meals so much. But yeah,
No, they're not eating no
these
home
restaurants
cooked
you're
meals.
going to.
They don't feel that, like a lot of women that I talk to today, man, like that's not even in their mindset anymore. Like they see themselves as cosmopolitan, and it's true that they are. And I just don't think that's even in their skill set in this generation of women. I just don't.
Nah.
It's
Now
not women
remember,
cooking
like
with them
technically
fat.
right now, we're actually anybody's in their 30s and up. We're technically the new grandparents now. This is so sad. Like you got 30-year-old, early 30-year-old women becoming grandparents. I'm like, damn. And I just hit me like, damn, you know what? I'm the new generation grandparent now. And she.
All right, so
The
Aaron,
sad thing about it, when I was younger, my grandmother, for real, she was shaming the women a lot of her days and stuff like that. That's one thing missing also too. The women was shaming women back in their days. You would never know this woman was doing fellatio like that. And like I said, most of the people was going to church on Sundays. They partying
how
everything
old
on
are you?
Monday to Fridays, but
He's 40.
Saturdays, but they still went to church and cleaned that act up. And they still at a certain percentage, but that stuff started dying down like after the mid-90s.
Okay, what I was saying was like I have not escaped my 20s yet, but I can respect that women are getting their own. Can y'all hear me clearly?
Yeah,
Oh, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to make sure, but I respect that women can go get their own. But if you can't pull up on me with mutual respect, I don't understand why we doing anything but maybe just having sex. We ain't even gotta be friends. We might as well not even link. Like, and when I throw that in their face, they think it's confusing. And I'm like, no, I value my respect than my immediate gratification. You get what I'm saying?
So you're coming across women that are having sex with you that you feel disrespected by? Could you elaborate? And then we'll get lying.
Yeah, actually I do. And I'll be straight up because over time, like they'll be respectful to me until I understand their family. And then when they get that I understand their family dynamics, they don't like the fact that I mathematically understand their family dynamics. So now they don't want to respect me anymore because they don't know how to differentiate between what I'm bringing and what they're bringing.
That's interesting.
That's because your standards and preference is different from hers. She's still trying to force her dysfunctional standards and preference onto you and feel like, yo, you should set me as I am and everything, including my dysfunctional background. You are
No,
not
that's
going to do that.
definitely facts because one thing I know for sure is like, and I'm not gonna sit there and act like, nah, I ain't no mama's boy, but nah, my mama actually is pretty solid. Like, my mom knows when a hoe is a hoe before she be a hoe.
Do you guys see a lot of women that are never off the market these days? Because something that I've noticed when I look at my IG, like a lot of women I've known before they got married or before they got into
put a bookmark on that segment because Lion's been waiting for a real long time. So
go ahead.
Yeah, Lion, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I've been listening for a while. Yeah, I guess I'll respond to two things. Um, the whole Cynthia G thing. From what I think she's just kind of like a bitter type of woman and just trying to project stuff. And I think that it comes down to accountability. And then she got pregnant by some dude that was in Philadelphia and all this type of stuff. So I think
She
that
got knocked up by a dude that she said that by her standards is dusty.
Yeah. And I was like, no, yeah, that's what I heard. And I was like, and I think that she's about, on her way out and just finished. But as far as the whole relationship thing in here, in the culture, I mean, American culture, man, it's just bad, man. I was thinking like it's so dysfunctional. I call it Babylon because, like, I guess I say about, and a woman told me this. She said about 15% of westernized black women
or marriage material. And I would say, when I say westernized, I mean black chicks or any ethnic group, that grow up in the West. And I just
You
speak
talking
on
about the
America.
United States or like United
Yeah,
States, Europe?
I don't
Like,
know.
Yeah,
United
yeah, I think
States,
he's
United
including Europe
States.
in that.
I mean,
Basically,
United
Western
States.
culture,
Yeah,
Protestant,
United
white
States.
Protestant culture. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. UK, Canada, because yeah, like I said, for me, I'm half East African, Black American, so I've seen it because I saw a post where there's a chick that was East African, Eritrean, posted up a thing, oh, dudes that drink tea, or a guy who drink tea must be gay, a suspect of being gay. And I was like, this is so absurd. And because even
you ain't
some of
gay,
them
you just weird.
some, yeah,
Damn,
yeah,
these
and
Nigga,
I'm
you
niggas
saying,
drink
drinking
tea,
tea.
you're just weird. You ain't gay, you
yeah,
just weird.
Oh
yeah,
my
and when I saw that, I was like, oh man, it's pretty much done. And I was like, this is this is at the point of the level of dysfunction when you was trying to shame. I mean, the culture is so messed up. It's shaming dudes to date transgenders and stuff. And I'm thinking that like this is just pure madness. And I'm thinking that because the point is that even the Black American woman, a lot of these even Black immigrants that grow up here, the ones that come here at you know 8, no 5 years old, even at 13, they adopt that ideology that some of these Black American women have, and they become more American than sometimes even the Black American chick because what I'm saying, because I can't tell the difference between them because the mannerism is the
Now,
same and stuff like that.
one thing that's never addressed though is the fact that even though like we don't talk about enough that we as men
Uh-huh.
do get drafted in to that Americanized standard too. Like I'm not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
gonna
you're
lie.
right. Yeah,
I'm
you're right,
saying
and I
like no,
think
I mean I was trying to be square before, and then I just
uh-huh.
became a player out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, because you
culture
don't
is being
know.
cooked on both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because you don't know the contrast. I mean, you don't know how if you haven't been out the states and you don't know how other cultures operate. So when I was in Africa myself, I saw. I mean, the culture is night and day difference. There's no such thing as an educated lame you I hear online. Like I never even heard of educated lame until online in some of these on these spaces. And even my girl that grew up all her life in Ethiopia, and she
Bro,
told
that
she's like,
same
oh, what she's like,
educated lane thing
what the
still
hell?
consistent.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. She never heard no mess like that. I'm not saying so, and I think that some of this stuff is unique to this type of thing. And but basically the family orientated because no, the culture outside the West is more family orientated. I would say, except like I would say, just even Jamaican chicks are kind of crazy too with that mess because they even had that worshiping bad boys and all that type of stuff. So that's why I've noticed it, and I think that the women were they were more family. I mean, the family orientated, and basically they're raised to be wives and stuff. They a lot of these women are not raised to be partners, and like you said, a lot of them are just not even cool to be around with, even on a girl, even on not even on a marriage, just a regular relationship. A lot of them are just you know,
You
they're just
suck as a friend.
yeah. They suck as even
Yeah.
even
So
dating. I mean, the entitlement, like the attitude, entitlement, and the level, and they have a masculine energy. You don't understand how masculine these chicks is compared to
yeah,
black chicks outside the West, man. It's on another level. And the thing is, they want to replace the black men and stuff like that in the sense that they want to be the dudes. Like the roles are all everything's reversed, and like in the West, it's crazy. It's like it's like a Twilight Zone. I mean, here when you think about it, it's weird as hell. It's like it's everything's reversed. It's
yeah,
like okay, you worshiping like a criminal, but then like the educated dudes that want to provide, then it's like look down. So it's a very strange culture. You don't understand how
No, they
weird it
want
is
you.
until yeah,
They don't look down on you. What it really
yeah,
is they want you to fix them. And that's one
yeah,
thing that
yeah.
I realized. It was like check this out. I had a situation with my girl. My cousin had a situation with his. My cousin was way more player than me at the time, and he needed me to lie for him. But both of them wanted me to fix him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They wanted me to
Yep.
fix him, and I was sitting there like, I ain't never gonna fix that man. We both men. I can't do that.
Yep.
I can't make him do anything. So why
Yeah.
don't you
Yeah.
pick better men?
Yeah. And I think
So,
too, in
right,
other
right.
cultures too, there's rules, right? Like there's no shame tactics. Like if a woman, the whole community would shame them. In this culture, it's so individualistic. It's like there's no thing to enforce it because when you're in other when you're outside the West, let's say if you're in Africa, South America, they enforce that, thing. The woman has to be accountable. You just can't just go and just do whatever, um, you want and stuff because most of those societies are patriarchal and they're not
True.
playing that. You know what I'm saying? That's why
True.
you don't see a lot of these women.
We lost the patriarchal structure. I agree. I'm
They're not. There's punishment.
right. I'm gonna
Yep.
mute you
There's a
for
punishment.
a while because
All right.
there's like a lot of wind in the background. So
Oh, yeah. I was outside. Sorry. Bro. Yeah,
okay,
my
no worries.
bad.
All right. But let me do that and let me read the super chat. DRX says women don't understand the fact that they defeated themselves. Absolutely. By changing the culture to what it is, they made themselves, they gave themselves a failing strategy. Now, I will say that it was given to them, but they accepted it with the intention to deceive. So,
That's definitely the truth. The only thing was,
let's get the likes
go ahead,
up.
bro.
And Sigma, did you bookmark that thing earlier?
Yeah. I was just pointing something that I've noticed in my own life. Women that I've known for a long time or had dealings with. Some I didn't have dealings with, but that we follow each other on social media. And some of them have gotten married. Some of them are not single anymore. They're in some kind of relationship. But what I noticed, man, I feel that the modern female is never off the market. If you really follow them on social media, like in terms of like what they'll post privately, the only thing that I noticed that changed with the married chicks that I know, they won't post certain things publicly, but they will send things to you or share things with you or follow things that you post on a regular basis. So like sometimes
They move through close friends.
yeah,
IP close friends.
Yeah, something I do for fun is like I'll post like erotic art, right? Because I like to post erotic art. And you can see who looks at your stories, right? And I will see that the women that I've known that are in relationships that are married, even my own post, they're always looking at them. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be something like me just posting being out in public or at the gym or whatever, or it could be the erotic art that I like to post, but they're constantly watching this stuff. Or she'll post something and maybe I'll comment on it. Oh, you still looking real good and sexy, right? Sometimes just to test to see if they will tell me, well, I'm married. Do you understand that not one woman I know that's in a relationship or married has ever checked me when I wanted to be checked about making a certain kind of comment? Because I wanted her to tell me I'm with a man that I'm endeared, that I endear him, I love him, I'm loyal to him. I'm not gonna be answering no response from men from my past. But what I'm saying is that these women, they don't see it that way no more, bro. You are still an option to a lot of these women that are currently married or are currently in relationships. And see, what I'm saying is that as a man that sees it, it just makes it very hard to make that level of commitment to any one woman. When you see
Bruh, the main problem is the fact that niggas do not actually like to leave these females to be salty by themselves when they do that. And
Yeah,
I know a lot, like it sounds like some stuff that just like seems so easy and carte blanche, but like I know it ain't easy. Sometimes you love somebody, but nah, if you do not leave that chick alone, all these females gonna be messed up.
But I'm
Because
saying that they're not leaving them though. What I'm saying is that I don't even think the dude knows a lot of times, bro. I had a situation with a female.
he do know. He lied to
You think
himself,
that? So
bro.
you're telling me you think that this married guy knows that their women are rocking like this in the DM game?
Yes, because unless he a sucker, he would like if he a sucker, he'd never look at anything his girl doing.
But he might see it the opposite way though. He might feel like, well, some dudes will say, well, we trust each other, so we shouldn't be looking at each other's price. He might just feel like, well, if I married her, we have a serious relationship. Why do I gotta be checking her phone if she's loyal? Now I get what you're saying practically. I'm just saying that some of these dudes take it as if I'm making this level of commitment to her. She made this level of commitment to me in front of her family, in front of God. Why do I gotta be checking her phone all the time? I'm just saying that.
Yeah, some dudes is like that.
The reason why you got to check up on her is because you got to see who her family is. You got to see who she is every day. And you actually have to see who her friend network is. You cannot avoid all these things, even though it might be an inconvenience while you going to work and getting your money and striving to maybe build your business. You still have to take some time out your day to figure out what hovers around your girl.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Right quick. I wanna address Rico Savage. Basically said, I dated out. I never had a bad relationship with a non-black woman. Okay. That's cool. Like, are you thinking about marriage and stuff like that? I like to hear like, how's that? You know.
Yeah, that's crazy because I did. Like, bro, I had a Mexican chick who was real cool. But did you know what she asked me to do for her? My mom was a social worker who has a lot of pregnancy tests and all types of things at her disposal. She asked me to scare her current boyfriend about a pregnancy test while also saying she wanted to be with me.
Yeah,
and this is a Mexican chick.
This is how they're rolling, and I'm saying,
wait, scare him how?
Scare him into staying with her while still wanting to have me as a possibility as side dick, even though I ain't even hit yet.
Wait. How are you gonna scare him? Are you gonna just like punk him? Like,
no, with the
you're gonna tell him he has a baby on the way because he thinks you're faithful.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying. But that tactic is like a scare tactic to make him marry her because he feel like he has a duty. Basically,
exactly. That woman knows that man thinks she's faithful, even though he might be doing something.
Yeah.
But she wants to keep me as a side option because I'm better than him.
So do you
wait? I feel naive as I don't know what now. Why doesn't she? So she wants to scare him and say she's pregnant. Why don't she just say it? Why does she have you do it?
Because that would relieve the work that she has to do of her own accountability.
No, if she said it straight up, he wouldn't have believed her. But if she came to me and got paperwork from my social worker mama.
Oh, okay. The social worker mama part of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If she got paperwork from me, from my social worker mama, then he would know that she was actually looking into something. So he would think this woman is probably not lying.
Okay.
So you agree with that, Swag? You agree that
it's deeper, like it's way like this. The only thing I think a lot of brothers really are slow. Like it's not because you slow; it's the fact that you don't believe that it could get that deep.
So that's what we call them. They stuck in the blue pill phase and stuff. So that's just that naive. Doesn't make them stupid. It's just that naive because, like I said, most of them wasn't taught the game by a lot of older cats, and they was more breeded towards their mother's side. How the relationship's supposed to be. So they glorify it to a certain degree that they meet this one woman, that the woman they dream, they put them on a pedestal, or she doesn't do this, and I'm not do all this. And so
you really put your faith into something. I don't even think it's really putting it on a pedestal. You actually put your I'm saying, no, I feel you, but I'm saying like you put your faith into something. It wasn't you putting her on a pedestal for real. It was the world is so dark and bleak that it's confusing, that it's like, man, I've been told that when something good come along, I gotta treat it like it's something good. So he would believe her with the paperwork she asked me for.
Well, that's the very definition of blue pill. The
Matrix.
Matrix reference.
Well, I don't know if he blue pill because he's not believing her just off rip.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying though. He don't believe her completely. She needed me to make him believe her.
Okay, the story about being blue pill is not about your particular story, but the fact that men seeing the world from a certain point of view, seeing relationships and from a certain view, and reality being something other than the view they're being sold, that is blue pill.
So you're saying that just because you're assuming everything is 100.
That's blue pill.
All right. I believe that.
Like,
I believe that.
You're accepting based upon what you was told and know that
that women can
seeing for your own eyes, accepting what it is through your own eyes and stuff like that. Yeah, instead of what you was fed.
Sound like some Tyler Perry shit.
So do y'all agree with him?
It do though.
do y'all agree with the? Are y'all having the same experience that he's having? The experience that I'm describing, where like these women seem like they're never off the market, or is your experience different, where women that you used to have sex with that are now in relationships or are married, they've cut y'all completely off all lines of communication through phone, social media, email, and everything? Or are you guys experiencing the same thing that myself and Swag are pointing to? Is what I'm trying to get.
Let's put it this
Well,
way.
I
get
don't
emails and
I don't do
texts.
social media, so
I get
Let's put
everything,
it this
bro.
way. I've seen women when the definition of them saying they off the market, that is towards guys that they're not sexually attracted to. They on the market for guys that they not sexually attracted to, and stuff like that. So by them saying that they want, it's just like with women, they post Tinder profiles and then they Tinder bio. They said, "I'm not looking for a hookup," and then you call about they bullshit, and then they do just look for hookups. I'm not looking for sex hookup, but they wind up having sex and hookups. That's towards the guys that's gonna believe in, because that's the guys, that's their tactic of weighing out the guys that they not sexually attracted to.
So, Mel, if you were married right now, right, and like some dude that used to bang your wife before she got with you, you looked in her phone, and for example, let's say she was.
I like the
posting,
man
like,
in the suit. He funny. I saw him laugh.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
I saw him in the blazer. You laughed.
And she was posting pictures to like one of the guys used to bang, right? And you saw the comment from the guy, and he said something like, "Yeah, I can see that your ass got a little bit bigger since the last time I saw you."
Why is that still your girl?
But I'm just saying, like in her response, and you saw the phone, and her response to the guy was, "Oh, thanks, I appreciate that," or "You really think so?" Or anything like that. Like, what would your reaction be? Because I'm trying to figure out how dudes accept this.
Bro, straight up, hold on. I'm gonna say this straight up, and I'm
that's the part. How
if you accept that, you a sucker. If you accept that, you a sucker.
Yeah.
Now, if you choose to go forward with it, figure out how you gonna do it.
There's a way you gotta handle that. That doesn't not only make it seem like you're what's that word?
Your girl's supposed to know she ain't supposed to be on the phone with another man.
There's a difference.
Ain't no why
This is
testosterone
not
on your
from
phone.
Sharp also too. It's a difference between giving a woman a choice on her own free will and an ultimatum.
Give her a choice.
Situation, exactly. You give her a choice, which means, okay, I see this happen, but now you know what?
Do you cut her off?
Right for you to talk to him no more and everything, and I'm gonna leave the choice up to you and everything. You know how I feel, but you know what? Do what you want. Now, if she continues to do it, then you have to exercise your enforcement. You leave her. You leave her alone. And then she's wondering, okay, why he left? Why he left me?
Way.
Exactly.
Our fathers did it.
Oh, let me finish. Then she's wondering why you left her, because you already gave her a choice to choose her own free will to not deal with that guy. She continued to text him. So you made the choice for her. You left her.
See, what I'm saying is that
now the ultimatum would be, it's being proactive. Okay, I saw you talk to this guy. You better leave him alone or else.
No,
that's what the ultimatum is. You taking the choice away from her. Okay. It's not like a threat.
No, she took the choice from herself.
I know what I'm talking about because I've done it
before. In England, you can be arrested for that. You know what's a funny fact about what you just said? Is that
about
in
the
England,
ultimatum, right?
Yeah, you can actually be arrested now in Canada.
That's why you don't give women ultimatums. You give them a choice.
If you told your wife that,
no, but do you know when I gave you the choice? This is where the older generation made the problem. No, the moment you chose to engage, hold on. The moment you chose to say that you are going to be exclusively mine is when I gave you the choice. After that, if you do anything, I ain't gotta tell you shit.
Exactly.
I ain't even gotta let you know I know.
When you've already let her know.
Okay, no, I'm leaving. I ain't gotta let you know nothing.
You exercise you just like the old saying goes. You gotta know how to leave, and you gotta know how to walk away and mean it. Most dudes don't do that. That's why they give ultimatums, and that's why it backfires. You gotta give a woman a choice. You let a woman know, I don't date females that got social media and stuff like that. You let her know that. So now she has to have a choice.
You set your boundaries up.
Exactly. She has to know, she has to have a choice to either choose to be on the social media or delete her social media page. If she chooses to be on social media, then you leave her.
But Mel, like what I'm saying is that the way that they're trying to shape the narrative now, because like, in Europe and in Canada, what you just said, they're literally saying that that's a form of abuse. Now you could be arrested for telling your woman that she can't have social media. That's what I'm pointing to. And I'm saying here in America, now the women are saying, women are saying themselves like, if you're they call it insecurity now. So if you're a woman, that your wife is letting these dudes make comments like that, they consider that part of her empowerment now. So they've shifted the narrative. Now that's called empowerment. Like as a husband, they're telling these guys, I call them a cucksman, that they're supposed to accept all this. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but a real nigga
accept that
gonna be
behavior,
okay
yeah,
with
that
being
means you're
insecure and let her go.
Exactly. You can buy salmon tactics. But see, I gave her a choice. I didn't force it on her. Yo, you can still have your social media, but I'm just letting you know I can't deal with you if you still have it. So now
Find
you're
you a
still giving
man
her a
who's real.
choice. If she chooses on her own free will, then you exercise your choice to leave.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm
You're
making a choice
100%
for
right.
her. Yo, I'm already left you. I'm not taking away. You can keep your social media, but I can't be with you that way.
Hey guys, it was great being on the panel. I gotta roll out, man. Thanks, Game Changer, for having me on the panel, man.
All right, bro.
I
All right,
gotta
thanks
roll
for coming
out.
up, Kevin.
Sorry, bro.
All right.
Remember, you
I'm
still
shut
give
down.
women
I'm
free.
shut down.
Just like how they
but-
fought. Oh, sorry. Oh, just like they fought with feminism. With feminism was about choice. I'm not knocking of it, but remember, you're letting them know choices come with trade-offs.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what
Archer been waiting for a while. Archer, what's on your mind?
No, bro, I'm just listening in. Just listening in.
Okay. Go ahead, man.
But yeah, choice come with trade. Or just like, another example. Girls go to the club and everything. Her friends are banana gobblers like crazy. So if she wants to go hang with her friends, you gotta let her know. Listen, it ain't about you, but your friends out there is a bad influence on you. You know what they are, and I don't feel you should probably hang with them tonight. Then she tried to come at you like, come on, let me, okay, you know what? Go ahead.
Leave.
You go hang. You wanna stay home, or you can just go with your
But
friend.
see, that's what I'm pointing to, Mel.
Go do what you want. But see, if she decides to go on her own free will, then I'm going to leave her on my free will. Then
But
she's going to
Eminem,
wonder why you left.
on the other side of that though, Eminem, this the one thing that no man likes to admit. Your girl tells you that her friends are thoughts.
See, Game Changer, do you see where this is all going though? Game Changer, what we're talking about with the men. See, men are experiencing this, and then everyone looks around when the men have seen all this stuff that everyone's pointing to. You want to hang out with the girlfriends. You want to go on whole trips. You don't want to really be off the market. You want unlimited social media validation while you're in a relationship. And then when men are saying, you know what, hey, it seems that based on all the actions of the modern women, they prefer casual relationships. And this is
it's not even based off of your opinion.
Yeah.
The woman will tell you herself what her circle is like.
But not publicly though, Swag. What I'm saying is that they say that they'll tell you and me on a one-on-one, hey, I like having this casual relationship. But when they get in these spaces here, someone puts a mic in them. Oh, these black men aren't marrying us. We're just sitting around looking for a Prince Charming. That's what they said. But
because you got to realize, man, the women
True, that's a double lie.
Women got to sell the most pure of themselves, which is mean they sexual, they looks and everything to the highest value quality male. That's the big reason why the men they talking about the men that they wasn't highly sexually attracted to, or the men that they did want to get with some high quality male, they didn't want to marry them because they saw right through their bullshit. See, that's women want to put the work in to
so why do we always have these
non-sexually.
conversations? We have these conversations about marriage, but I always notice as soon as we get to talking about people's actual experience, then we realize most men and most women, I believe, have adjusted to an environment that makes for great sex, great temporary sexual arrangements, but is piss poor long-term arrangements.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, exactly.
The only other side of that though is, but I'm saying everybody is just so mentally deranged a little bit that they won't even say the truth for their own benefit.
I don't even think most men have adapted to it because maybe it's just my personal experience, but I'm still hard pressed to meet a woman who hasn't had a couple proposals in their life. I would agree that men don't want to get, unless the women are capping, I would agree that men don't want to get married if it wasn't for the fact that every attractive woman I've ever come across has had men trying to marry them. So,
I believe that that's the truth. I do not believe that there are not a bunch of men, because I'm a barber, dude. I sit around, like, really think about it. I'm a barber. Think about the type of dudes I sit around all day. So I know that it's the truth, but you told me you knew that he was that way before you let him become your baby daddy.
Because women think emotionally.
Exactly.
With their
No accountability.
But men do the same thing too. I just sit there and look at everybody like you're retarded.
With them how it is. But I forgot. Volatile said in certain words. I forgot how it was, but yeah, we think differently and stuff.
But Archer got to finish that thought, though.
Not as different as you think, though.
Y'all gotta let him finish that thought.
That way.
Let Archer finish that tag.
Well, before we go into that, El Grande with the $10 super chat says, summary: they're all just holes. 18 to 24 usable life of a hole. Any hole over 25 worthless. No need to figure it out. Just use the hole. Yeah. As much.
But Archer, finish
TP style. All right. Oh, one more thing. Three Kings. I don't know if you're new, but I don't think I have you. So if you look at the screen, it spells out the name of the members, people that are members of my channel. I don't think I have yours in it. Could you check to see for me? And if you don't see it, then let me know in the chat room and I'll put it in. All right, go ahead.
No, I was just curious, and he said, I mean, I understand he's making a point, but we got to stop doing this. We got to stop giving girls that, oh, you knew he was like that before you met him. Don't believe that chick when she says anything about her baby daddy. Believe me, she was the goddamn problem, not him.
Dude, but at the same time, on the other side is, do you, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what your track record is, and I know how mine is a little bit. So it's just like, in my opinion, I just look at this. I received more lies about baby daddies than more truths. And then when I started to understand the difference in dynamics, it was like, wow, you really, like, bro, I had a chick who told me because I was doing well in life that she was jealous of me. She was jealous that my family was stable. She was jealous that my parents' relationship was cool. She really hated me for having the life she did not get. This is how a lot of these chicks move. It's just, if they really love you, they're gonna tell you that. But if they don't, they're just gonna finesse you.
Yeah, they love the finesse. But Archer, what I was saying, Archer, you mentioned, you said that these women that you knew that were fine, they told you that they got proposals. I wanted you to finish that.
Yeah, I mean, even women that are not fine, like I've yet to meet black women. Now, they won't tell you while they're young, but I've yet to meet black women who are in their 30s on the dating market right now that says they haven't been proposed to. You can even watch Kevin Samuel's show. He asks every woman that comes up there, have you ever had a man propose to you? And they all say yes. They can tell you when and his name and what year it was.
And what happened? But what happened to these guys?
Them hoes left.
They left and turned it down. They all left and turned down the men, and we keep going this notion. Now, I'm not saying this to say black men are these great men who want to get married, because I think that's the biggest flaw with black men. I think that's our biggest problem, is that we're too romantic. We're the biggest hopeless romantics, and we actually want to marry these chicks. We actually want to do right by these chicks and do the opposite of what these chicks say we're doing, which we're not doing.
Because you got to realize, I think Kevin said it himself also too. It's our duty. That's the whole thing. We see relationships as our duty. Women don't see it that way. That's why there's some females like that also too. Like being a man's wife is your duty.
But I agree with the duty thing. Men do have a much stronger sense of duty than women do, and that's part of the red pill is coming to that realization, because we thought that women had a sense of duty, not necessarily to men, but at least to the children and to the house.
Game changer, they pull up with that duty and actually pretending as if it is to you at the beginning.
Again,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what red pill is, coming to the awareness that what they're saying is not true, which goes into what Marco is saying right now, is listening to hoes is like listening to crackheads. So yeah, I definitely agree with that, because
the brother said
and also recognizing your value, that you are better than dealing with garbage.
But they said no is what the point that I think that we can't miss here. See, you got all these women clutching pearls that come to this space talking about, oh, I want to be married and these black men aren't marrying me. And it's but you just
they love men who got value, but they jealous.
You gotta know how to read women needs. The men that they are talking about are the men that they sexually desire, that they want to be married to. The men,
but they want dudes with money who's stupid.
They want dudes those men in the past. They proposed, they wasn't sexually designed for them. They probably used them for whatever benefits they could get out of them and was bought with them.
So why don't they stop blaming those men? What I'm saying is that it's just so the conversation, it goes on forever, because it could easily be solved by Archer's example of saying, look, your women are good looking. You've been proposed to many times. You told those dudes no when you were at the prime sexual market value. Shut up. No one cares anymore.
But that's another thing
Yeah,
too,
but
brother.
no,
Yeah,
the
that's
other
another thing
side of
too.
that though is no, psychologically, even though they telling you they want you for being you, they're jealous of you for being you. They
cares
don't
what they're
like
telling
the fact that you achieved what you achieved.
Who cares?
So once they see that in you, they start getting very unstable and shaky. Because
Because
now they can't
another factor
stand.
is also too. I want to add on to that also too. She
Dang,
didn't even
Go ahead,
believe
bro.
that you
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, she probably didn't believe that you could be that self-made guy also too. Remember, she probably wasn't attracted to you. You probably was. She probably saw you as like the Steve Urkel type that was into her, but she liked the ego boost, but she didn't want you until you started building yourself up, and now you know you became Stefan or Kel, or the women getting at you, and then you found your queen before she did.
No matter what, I mean, they're always, no matter where you are, they're always going to think that they can do better when they're young because, you know, it came easy to them. Like if they were to get with the, you know, Raiders wide receiver, you know, they're going to think about the quarterback. They're just going to think like, if I leave this dude, the next dude might be a quarterback. So, you know, or whatever.
It was so funny.
Exactly.
It was so funny as we're talking about this. The breakdown just came out with some shit.
No, but that's reasonable.
That's perfect because I'm about to head out anyway. I've been here like 3.5 hours. So,
but I think that's reasonable. But at the same time, you gotta be like, all right, I'm gonna just get mine. It's reasonable, but I guess like just because it's female nature, but at the same time, you doing double speak. And the only reason why you're upset that men can have spaces like this is because y'all did it for like 20 years and now it's being exposed and it hurts you. And it's ironic. Y'all been taught this for this long. And now since like we went to the same school system, you should understand what logic means.
I agree, but the school system is where they're learning this, you know, where they're getting this misinformation from.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let me shout out Computer Geek. I appreciate you. It says I agree with El Grande's comment. Appreciate you, brother. All right,
you got to realize, man. Us men, we are builders. We have to build who we got to be, and everything. Women are just born. They get stuff handed to them like crazy. We have to build. We constantly have to build. And now it's even backfiring them even more because now we got spaces like this that we could build upon and even build even further. We didn't really build much like that beneficial to our overall race that much like you think it is. Maybe a little some percent, but not as big as the way we built it. Like I said, even Kevin Samuels when he was debating with them chicks on the Fresh and Fit podcast, who built OnlyFans for them
Kevin
to use
Samuels
it.
is starting a Oprah situation.
Huh?
Kevin Samuels is about to start an Oprah situation if it goes the right way. And I think the one place he needs to go next is Fox Soul and have a conversation with Vivica Fox. And once he shut her down,
he refused them. He refused them.
No, if he shut her
he
down,
refused them.
But I'm saying if he shut her down, man, he got him a daytime TV spot.
Yeah, but his platform is much bigger. He has things to lose, and they have everything to gain and nothing to lose. And
exactly.
They
got Kevin like Batman and stuff like
that. He's not going to go. I ain't gonna argue.
He's not going to go to
has
the League
like
of
25,000 people viewing, and they have like maybe they have as much as I do. So yeah,
but you got to remember that everybody remembers Players Club, and everybody remembers Vivica was with 50, and everybody remembers that other Mexican chick was on Love and Hip Hop.
But those people not watching; they're watching Kevin. Like that was then. You was hot on.
I'll give you that.
Independence Day. And now
I give you that.
He was on Joe Biden's. That's different. That's a male platform, but like an all-female platform, like he knows he's going to be more and more attacking him, even though he can handle himself. He's not going to do that now.
It's Fox only a female platform.
Batman. Like Batman, he's not going to go to the League of Assassins threshold to face Ra's al Ghul when there's like thousands of people waiting on him. Even though he got the power to beat on them, but he's not going to do that. He have to be strategic about it. You know, you want me to debate with these four hands? He's on an even playing field.
So yeah, they're like he's on the rise and they're on the fall. So that wouldn't be in his best interest. Let me shout out Computer Geek and then we'll do final thoughts starting with Mel. So Computer Geek says I agree with El Grande's comment. LOL. So I think I read that already.
Yeah, you read.
All right, thanks a lot, Computer Geek. Mel, closing thoughts.
Definitely, man. You know what I'm saying? Like This is the time right now for us men to build more and more and everything, and not let women shame us of our preferences, what we want whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Like Game Changer always says, man, that heifer cannot make you a sandwich, and she's fat. Leave her the fuck alone. Pardon
How
my
fat
French.
chick ain't gonna make you a sandwich?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I don't get that either.
How can Lizzo never
But,
make you a
yo,
sandwich?
she make it
Appreciate
sandwich,
you.
but eat most of that shit and give you the little piece. That's why she's
Lizzo
fat.
probably make you the best sandwich.
I doubt it. She got sausage.
Straight cap, pastrami,
Wow.
capicola, ham, and turkey.
Lion. Final thoughts. I want to get you so I can get the wind off. Go for it.
No, I think that it's up to guys in the West to let the next generation know, what's up and tell the truth. Tell the truth what these women are on. And I think guys need to need to stop tolerating these the behaviors of these women and set their boundaries. And if these women are not on your program, recognize you as the the leader,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to move on. And I think the future of modern women in America, I think they're just kind of finished, man. I think the Instagram like dots and stuff, they're gonna age out, and a lot of them are gonna be with their vibrator and dying alone with their cats and dogs. That's the future that I see for them. But all right, that's all I had to say.
Okay, appreciate you, bro. All right, and who's next? Stucco.
Hey man, I just say for real, honestly, I think men need to really think about their own movements because a lot of things are self-inflicted. If you already know what's going on, you have nothing to complain about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, with the women moving the way they moving, actually sit and talk to the women you dealing with. It's real easy to figure out if they stupid. They will tell you. All you gotta do is drop some D on them, and then right after you do, ask them some deep questions, and they're gonna tell you everything. And that's my closing statement. I just hope somebody caught it.
Okay, appreciate you, fam. All right, and let's see, Ray.
Yeah. I don't really necessarily agree with that because you can give them the D and all that stuff, but the thing is though, they can still lie and all that shit. So, and the thing is, the reason why Kevin Samuels is here, blown up like he is and stuff like that, is because these females don't want to face the reality that they fucked up. I mean, that they effed up with their choices. They kept on choosing the bad boys and all that and whatnot. And
Hey,
now
big
they
brother.
mad. And now that they mad that the high select guys, don't want them. Yet alone the regular 9 to 5 guy, he don't want them either.
That's
So
true, bro. I think you're a genius.
so they're highly mad and ticked off. So and now they realize that the men are going overseas now that they're totally done with them. So yeah, so they're so they're trying to rise up and be like, oh hell no. So
I was
so
just saying
therefore,
that in Game Changers
Brother,
podcast.
so that's all.
Final thoughts,
That's
bro.
all. That's all I had to say though, man. But you know what I mean, and so therefore,
For sure.
and with that, you know what I mean, man, we need to focus on getting ourselves together, networking with people, you know what I mean, to elevate, you know what I mean, ourselves to being better, and focusing on our purpose, our craft, and whatever your craft is, you know what I mean, you link up with other fellow man, good people, that can, help you rise up to a higher station, and just leave them females alone. You know what I mean? Hell, they just want to bring you down, all that shit, and trap you, and all into all kind of crazy situations. What's the point? You know what I mean? When it's gonna just bring you under. So
True.
therefore, that's all I got on that. Yeah, you know what I mean? And
For sure, gang.
thank you, man, bro. Thank you, bro, for having me on.
All right, appreciate you. All right, so let's see, King Sigma.
Yeah, I would just close with the question that I was asking to the panelists. I would just pose it to the women out there and to the men that are in relationships and especially marriages. Is your woman really off the market if she's spending her time when you're not there, accepting validation, compliments, possibly sex news from other men? that were her exes or even just strangers, and she herself is constantly following past boyfriends and other strange men on her social media, but in her real life with you, she claims to be dedicated. And I just say that to the ladies to ask yourself, are you really ever off the market? And how does you women forever not really being off the market impact the generations of women that really do want to be married and those men who are being corrupted by seeing what kind of wife you are and what kind of girlfriend you are? Because I know for me, I've been very corrupted by women, bro. And it's unfortunate. I feel like I've seen so much. And I don't want this to happen to other men. And I don't want other women to end up going down that road. But once you've been in a situation, when you've dealt with women that are in relationships, they're married, and you've seen how they've acted with you, nothing would stop you from believing it'll happen to me too if I go down that road. So I would just tell people, just take a step back and think about those kind of actions. With that, you have a good one, GC, next time.
Okay,
Hey,
thanks a
GC,
lot.
I hope you have this one tomorrow, because what he just said was fire.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What he
All
just
right,
said was fire. That was what I was gonna say. Like,
so let me take this time out to thank the well, actually, before I do that, a couple of announcements. Tomorrow is movie night. Tomorrow's movie is going to be Jungle Fever.
It's gonna be what?
It's going to be Jungle Fever.
Oh, I thought you was gonna do. I thought you was gonna do The Family That Prays.
No, I changed. I'm going to do Jungle Fever tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. So stay tuned for that. And outside of that, thank the members. If you are a member of the channel and you do not see your name in the fish tank that I have here, then please send me an email, let me know, and I will take care of that.
GC, can I say this one more piece though, real quick, bro, before you go?
Yeah.
All right. Hey y'all. Hey brothers, value yourself more. You don't have to deal with a chick that's been ran through with a blown out coochie. Okay. Value yourself more. Damn it. Travel seas. If you got a passport, go. If you don't, work towards it. Get your shit together. Because that's the fuck I'm doing. Peace out.
Peace. Okay. So also, yeah, it's those are I didn't know what I was gonna do with this. Somebody said fish tank, but I didn't know what I was gonna do with this, but I wanted to highlight the members in a creative way. So I made this program. But people were saying that I should just turn those into fishes, those dots. So I'm gonna turn them into fish. And they'll still have the letters that spells out your name if you're a member. So, and it'll still be size specific and stuff. It's not much coding to turn these into fish. So yeah, become a channel member and greatly appreciate that. I also appreciate the cash apps and super chats, the managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participate in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. And remember, this is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.